Yeah. What's going on, man? Y'all see me? I'm over here on the cut, Man, you already know we got a powerful show coming up with Nepal Sadas. You getting ready to go in, man, and make some Israelites and Kemetic people upset, man. The truth really hurts a lot of people, and we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, I got two of my greatest songs that I love. And got to open up the house right.
This is for my sisters trapped in religion. Wake up and free the babies. So never speak the truth, he's on a mission. Yeah, the house of consciousness, the final call. Will your Bible thumpers wake up or just fall? The house of consciousness, the final call. Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. Oh, I used to use the Bible like a lantern in the night, trying to wake up my sisters to the light. The house is closing in and it's a total mess. You ignore my wisdom, the ultimate test. Step inside the HOK, it's the toughest terrain where the truth hits hard, the cuts bring pain. I try to wake you with the word in my hand, to get you to the truth, to help you understand. I gave you the scriptures, chapters and verse. I gave you the keys to break the curse. I gave you Torah to unlock with keys, break the mental chains and be the house of consciousness. Final call. Oh, your Bible thumpers wake up or just fall. The house of consciousness. Final call. Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. Wake the sisters up with the fire in their soul, taking back their story, gaining full control. Get your mind right, leave the Bible behind. The Bible is not your history, your soul will be hard to find. Welcome to the HOK, where the truth resides. No more hiding in the pews where the die. We speak against the Bible just to wake the inner sight. Come inside the HOK doors, we bring the light. The house of consciousness, final call. Will your Bible thumpers wake up or just fall? Stop believing in fairy tales, especially Paul. Don't stop, wake the sisters up. Don't stop, wake the sisters up. I won't stop, I won't stop, don't stop, wake the sisters up. Don't stop, wake the sisters up. I won't stop,
All right. That's my first song, and come with the second song, and we get it in. You already know, man. Man, listen, this is my top song right here. You already know. It rings bells. It's the truth. And let's get it in. Because we already heard about the sisters. Sarnetta waking the sisters up. We can't forget about the brothers. You feel me?
yeah. Oh. people at? Now I'm back where you at, where my people at? I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of the prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign at to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, where your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. Oh, God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is the toughest environment. While we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I believe in scriptures for your mind, this is the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe. The house of consciousness, start looking within. That's where the real liberation begins. Oh, this is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brother trapped in religion. Some had to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. The HOK is more than just a place. It's a tough environment where you check your faith. Bomb squad and pseudo killers who check your sources. Don't come in front cause you will live for losses. The Bible written to break your spirit, built to keep you low, feeding you metaphors, stopping your growth. These is for my brothers trapped in religion. Sign had to be the truth, you know he's on a mission. Sad to see my brothers all so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, while your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces.
You know, if you listen to the music that I play, both of them, and you got headphones, you will appreciate it more because the beat is there, the drum beat is there. It's better than just hearing it on your computer. Because if you had the headphones, man, you'll be like, God damn, you'll be rocking right now. Because you'll hear every beat, every instrument, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, let's get right to it. Tonight, I got something real good for y'all. I got some real good entertainment as well as education and information, right? And what do we got? We got this right here. R.I.S.E. Is R.I.S.E. about to make the biggest mistake of his YouTube career? Is Dr. Reggie putting batteries in R.I.S.E.'s back? Wow. This is going to be great. This is going to be great right here. Because R.I.S.E. now is thinking he could take on Jabari. For some strange reason, R.I.S.E. is feeling his now. And that's Dr. Reggie, as we can all see, putting batteries in the back of our brother R.I.S.E. This could be the end of his YouTube career if he keeps going this route. And I'm trying to tell the brothers, yo, slow down, brother, to speed up. Slow down to speed up, man. You don't need to try to take on the champ like that. That's why it's not a debate. It's going to be a conversation. It's going to be a conversation, man. Slow down to speed up, brother. You know, beat up the minions. Try to take on Unk if you could. Unk is like damn near 7-0 over here. To keep it a buck, Unk is like 9-0. Now we can say what we want about Unk the God Killer, but Unk have not lost the debate yet. So he's right there with Jabari Osaze. And now I have convinced him to take on Jabari. I have convinced him to take on Brother Jabari. And he's going to take on Brother Jabari. Unk will be taking him on right after this debate here. You know? Right after the debate, he get done with Brother Reggie. And I think Reggie got something going on that he's not telling everybody. I think Reggie really got something going that he's not sharing with us. And then you already know I got the other member of the bomb squad. God Energy will be coming through Friday. God Energy will be coming through Friday. Y'all ain't hear me. Y'all ain't hear me. Cartridge, and the Bible. That's what he's going to be going in on. So y'all better be ready for all of this smoke that's coming y'all way, man. This your brother Sarnetta. Sometime I get appreciated with some little cash apps where I can go and buy me a nice little dinner after being up with y'all all day and all night. Sometime I can. I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed without my dinner, man. You know how this thing go, man. Yo, my brothers ain't showing the love. So it's all good. I'm going to keep it moving, though. I'm going to keep it going. I'm not going to stop, man. I'm going to keep it going. I get the love I don't. Sometimes I have a good day. And so that's why I really don't get too mad at my brothers and sisters out there. Sometimes I have a good day where they come through. I end up rocking, getting up out of here with at least 2 bills sometime. 200. I ain't get 200 in a long time, though. Yeah, that definitely helps me. But it is what it is, you know. One day I might come away with nothing. Come away with nothing, man. You know? But hey, the ancestors gonna bless me. Y'all already know what we got coming up, man. The tickets go up the end of this weekend right here. Coming up this weekend. That's the wrong flyer. That is the wrong flyer. And I thought I uploaded the right flyer because the time now is not 6 o'clock. The time is 4 o'clock. Let me delete that flyer right there. I thought I did delete it. I did delete it. Somebody must have put the joint back up. Let me delete that flyer and let me put up the right flyer. The right flyer is 461F. 461F. Hold on. That's not it. Oh, here you go. There's the right flyer. Yep. So family, let me throw the link in there too. There's the right flyer right there. And I got the link coming for those who ain't get their ticket yet. Suntan with the master plan up in the building. There's the link for those of y'all who did not get y'all tickets. The link is in the chat. Don't wait till the last minute. Now, you know I'm not going to be home. I'm going to be at the place where they doing it live at. So I ain't going to be able to do all those maneuvers and get y'all in there because I'm not going to be home on my computer. Check. I'll be setting my camera up, being ready to go live. So, y'all better go ahead and get your tickets now. Don't wait till the last minute. You understand what I'm saying? The place where we're going to be is on 2279 3rd Avenue, Harlem, New York. Right in Harlem, baby. Zip code 10035. We're going to be right in the building. Come on through. Captain Tazariak is going to be in the building. Priest Daniel Allah. Hopefully Pastor Bennett, he said he's going to do his best to make it. Pastor Bennett will be in the building. The Rebel roster will be in the building. Sister Freedom, Unscrambled Minds, the sisters are coming through. Oh, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be great. Y'all should not miss it. The energy, the fire. I mean, hey, Dr. Reggie going to bring the pain. I'm hoping Dr. Reggie come and bring the pain, you know, because I got to see Jabari on his heels a little bit. I want to see Jabari on his heels. So, this dude here, he done canceled the debate. Harwin is really running. He don't want to smoke with nobody. So he gets up here and he runs his mouth and he talk. Next time you come up, brother, just add on to the build. Don't talk about Jabari. Don't talk about Chuck Morgan. And nobody wouldn't, we wouldn't be hunting for you. Just come up here and try to have a good time, brother. Don't talk about how many people you can beat and you'll do this and you'll do that. Because that's the only reason why we put you up there, because you was talking real big. And then when we come out and Chuck Morgan calls you out, you start hiding and shrinking and getting small and ducking everybody. Harwin, I'm talking to you. Now you realize you don't have a big bite. You just got a loud mouth. And that's why they say a loud bark. You're barking loud, brother. But your bite is not strong enough. R.I.S.E is in the building. I'm calling your captain out. Before you call the captain out, R.I.S.E, you better worry about this tonight. R.I.S.E about to make the biggest mistake of his YouTube career. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying is R.I.S.E about to make the biggest mistake of his YouTube career? Is Dr. Reggie putting batteries in R.I.S.E's back? Wow. That remains to be seen. R.I.S.E feels that he got what it takes to take on our champion, Brother Jabari. We will see tonight in the conversation, Brother R.I.S.E. So all I'm going to say to you is, brother, praise the Lord for you, brother. I want everybody in the chat to pray for our brother R.I.S.E. Brother Gideon, I see you in the building. Pray for our brother R.I.S.E. that he will shout out to R.I.S.E. that he will be all right after tonight. Pray for our brother R.I.S.E. Pray for him. Pray for our brother. Because R.I.S.E is getting ready to bring the pain. And hey, if R.I.S.E do good on this, man, I would have to be like, damn, R.I.S.E, you up there now. You really stepping up your game. You stepping up your game, brother. But I don't think the people think you're ready. I don't think they feel that you're ready. Let me ask the people, do y'all feel that R.I.S.E is ready? Press a 1 in the chat if you think he's ready. Press a 2 if you think he's still drinking his bottle, sucking on his pacifier. Press 1 if y'all think he's ready. Press 2 if you still think he got his pacifier in his mouth. Let's get it. Uh-oh. There you go. We got 1, 2, 1, 1. Oh, shit. Gideon, man. Come on, Gideon. All right, he got a couple of ones. Oh, there she go. We got the Queen Nepal in the building, ready to get it in, ready to upset some peoples. Look, we're going to get it in. Hey, wipe your camera a little bit because it's...
No, something's wrong with my camera, and when I've been trying to fix it in StreamYard, it wouldn't even come on, so I'm going to have to turn my camera off.
It's all good. It's just a little blurry. That's what it is. I thought you had...
And you know what? That's what's been taking me so long. It had the line through the camera wouldn't come on. So I'm just going to unfortunately have to turn it off, but I'm ready. This isn't going to be long. What you doing?
I already came with the intro song, and Nepal is about to upset some peoples.
Did you show my overlay? I want people to see that.
No, I don't know where's your overlay. Which one is it?
The one that I did, the last one.
Yeah. I showed that. I had that up on the screen.
Cool. All right.
You talking about this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had that up there while the song was playing.
Oh, you played my song?
Of course not. I played my song. I can't play your song. I can't play that stuff, man.
Okay. Well, Sonetter, I'm going to bring something in. You don't have to put this one on stage. I'm just bringing it in so I can share.
What was that? You got two up. You can't do that.
I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this a long time. Okay, porque yo sé mucho. Yo sé mucho. Okay, so I just want to share, I didn't put together a PowerPoint because if I put
come on now. You told me you had
Can I talk? I know you have to do that. And I know you do that because you want to assert dominance as an alpha male. Sonetter, I can't even get a whole sentence out without you cutting me off. Yes, take a drink of your powered aid or whatever the heck that is. What is that you're drinking? Power up water?
No, Fuji water, that's all.
Fuji water, awesome. Okay, from the Artesian Mountains. All right, I'm doing a series on the HOK Coliseum. I want to come over here. It doesn't, even if I don't have a PowerPoint, I'm going to show all information. So all you got to do is follow along, okay? If I put up together PowerPoint for each part of my series, which I'm like four episodes in the series, it would be more for me to do. So what I'm going to do instead is read a couple of articles for you guys. I know that it's going to be hard for some of you to keep your attention, but most of you will, because this is important. I've said it, many people have said it. We know that ancient Israel, they were monolatrous, and before they were monolatrous, they were polytheistic. There is no prohibition whatsoever in Torah of Genesis saying that there is a prohibition against worshiping other gods. Am I trying to turn people to pagans? No. But what I am going to do is show you that Israel of the Bible and people who claim to be Israel outside of the Bible have a root in polytheism, and they did not abandon polytheism. They shifted to monolatry with the reverence and the acknowledgement of other gods throughout antiquity, all the way up to the time of Christ. Now, I will start with this article by Dr. Claude Mariottini. He is an expert at this. This is a very reliable commentary. We'll start with this. And as I said, I'll try not to stop and do a lot of ad lib to it, but I do want you to listen to this article because, is it sharing?
Yes, it's sharing.
I want you to listen to this article because he gives you a background and understanding on how Israel was in ancient times. We are looking at it from a two-dimensional perspective, and we shouldn't. We have people claiming to be Israel, and they say, oh, yes, I'm of the ancient times. Well, if you are claiming to be these people, you need to know that they didn't go from worshiping several gods to just worshiping one God. Okay? You can sit and back if you're a believer and say, yeah, that's why God destroyed them, blah, blah, blah. That is a narrative that has been inserted into a text to say we got punished because we worshiped other gods. We're talking about the Deuteronomist. Take your pencils and your pads out. If you don't know about this, write that down. The Deuteronomist added that narrative like, oh, the reason we were exiled is because we were worshiping all those other gods that God told us not to worship. We didn't listen to Moses when Moses told us in the Exodus, in the desert, oh, we should only worship one God. Before Moses went to the desert, and again, if you think it's a fairy tale, just go along with what the Bible says, okay? I'm talking to people about the text. If you're in your feelings talking about none of this ever happened, fairy tale, then you need to go watch a rerun of I don't know, Empire. I don't know. So back to this, what I'm talking about. In the text, Moses took them to the desert, and I need you to listen. This was the first time the Israelites ever heard that if you worship other gods, you will die. You understand that, Sonnetter? This is where we got to wrap our minds around that. They never were told, if you worship other gods, you're going to die. We're going to kill, not you're going to die, we will kill you. They never were told that. Before they got to Kemet, when they were worshiping other gods in Canaan, multiple gods, the god El specifically, they weren't told, God's going to kill you if you worship other gods. Through the entire book of Genesis, when we look at Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they said, hey guys, Jacob said, well, okay, let me get to Abraham. Abraham said, or God told Abraham in the narrative, hey, Abraham, I don't want you worshiping those other gods. Leave. He never said, I'm going to kill you, Abraham. You get what I'm saying? I'm not putting myself in the book. I'm talking about the literature. So because we look at that ancient writing and we know, okay, they were worshiping other gods. No one told them that they're going to die or be put to death if they worship these other gods. Then they went into Kemet and they saw even more gods. So they were already exposed to the gods of Mesopotamia. They were already exposed to all the Canaanite gods. Now they're in Kemet, and now they're living amongst these people in the text with the Neteru, with the Kemetic gods. From that whole time, we're talking about centuries, millennia. They're like, we've never been told we're going to get killed for worshiping other gods. We decide which God we want to put as our top God, and that was the god El at top, for the most part, for the narrative. But when they left Kemet, that's when they were told, you're gonna die if you worship any other gods. If you appeal to the fertility god, if you appeal to the god of rain, you're going to be put to death. So now that I said that, I want to read this article by Professor Dr. Claude Mariottini. Okay, so Mariottini, Dr. Claude Mariottini is an emeritus professor of Old Testament at Northern Baptist Seminary. I was born in Brazil. He's telling you his background. Graduated from California Baptist College, Golden Gate Baptist Seminary, the Southern Baptist Seminary, and he has done additional graduate work. This is his background at the Graduate Theological Union. He pastored churches in California, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois. He's published more than 200 articles and books, book reviews in English, Spanish, and Russian. His academic works have been published in the Anchor Bible Dictionary, the Mercer Dictionary of the Bible, the Holman Bible Dictionary. Let's see. Jewish Bible Quarterly, Perspective Religious Studies, Expository Times, on and on and on and on. Those are his accolades. So when I get to reading this, this is actually an expert in this field. So let's read what his commentary is about this. This is my third article on the book, okay, Israel and Canaanite Religion. This is my third article on the book of Judges. The links for 2 previous posts on the book of Judges are listed. Okay, so it is a fact that the greatest challenge Israel faced in maintaining its relationship with Yahweh in the desert, and keeping the demands of the covenant was its encounter with Canaanite culture and Canaanite religion. So he talks about, I'm going to try to get, I got to condense this for people. Talks about Joshua, who is the predecessor. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He is he was the protege of Moses. Okay. So he was the protege of Moses, and he after Moses passed on, he told everybody, look, we're going to only worship Yahweh. So everybody was listening to him, right? So the people listened. The Israelites were like, okay, Joshua says, like Moses, we got to do this. We got to worship God. Quote, now fear the Lord and serve him with all faithfulness. Throw away the gods your forefathers worshipped beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. Joshua 24:14. After Joshua challenged the people to be faithful to Yahweh, the people answered, far be it from us that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. For it is the Lord our God who brought us and our ancestors up from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, and who did those great signs in our sight. Joshua 24, verse 16 through 17. Why is that important? Because they're talking about what happened to them once they were in the desert. Sonnetter, if you are listening along, you can interact with me on this, or anybody who wants to come in who knows a little bit about this can hit the panel and interact. But you know that Yahweh is the desert god, or Yahweh was the desert god associated with a lot of nomadic people in the desert, like the Midianites. That's what we know from the teachings over here in this neighborhood. So why is that important? That is the God that got them through the desert. I'm not even going to read this whole article because, I know people have a lot of, I know people might get impatient because I'm going to get to the part where I'm going to show you in the Bible where these gods are present and revered. But basically, this article talks about how once the people went into the desert, the God Yahweh was their God that they relied on. And it is, yes, they adopted Yahweh as their only God. They followed the covenant. They listened to Moses. They listened to Joshua. They were following along with all the rules and the commandments that were given in the desert. However, remember, before the desert, they were polytheistic. From not just from one generation's birth, but several generations. From the beginning of time, they had different gods that they appealed to for different things. And once they went into Canaan, once they went from Canaan into Kemet, that never changed for them, that system. They still knew, okay, well, this God is a God of rain. Oh, this God is a God of fertility. Oh, this God is the God of protecting everybody. So it wasn't like a culture shock for them to go from like all the other gods they knew to appeal to just saying, oh, I can't ask those other gods for this or else I'll get killed. I'll get stoned to death. I'll get put to death. I'll get burnt at the stake. So you have to look at it from that perspective, the reality. They went from Canaan into Kemet, worshiping these gods for hundreds of years. Then they're in the desert, according to the story, for 40 years. And they're just like, we can't ask any other God. And I'm sure they tried it. There's text saying that some of them were put to death. They were like, this is the God of the desert. This God is doing all these things for us. That is why, you see, let me read it again. It says, the Israelites did what, let me go up here again, where they said that this God got them through things. The people answered, quote, far be it from us that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. For it is the Lord, Yahweh, our God, who brought us and our ancestors up from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, and who did those great signs in our sight. That's Joshua 24. So they're like, yeah, we're going to serve Yahweh, the desert God. This God's been giving us water, sent us manna. We got us out of the house of Egypt. We see him put, the tabernacle leading us through the desert by night with the pillar of fire. Of course, we're going to serve this God. Once they got back into Canaan, it was a different story. Now, I'm going to read from Dr. Claude what he says. He says here, thus the Lord fed the Israelites for 40 years, quote, until they came to a habitable land, they ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. They were eating this manna pretty much. That's what the meal was. Remember when they were complaining, like, we want cucumbers and watermelon and we want meat. Why'd you take us out of Kemet? Well, they saw those people, stay with me. The people that were complaining that they were tired of eating that manna, that boiled bread, that manna that they had to eat forever, they said, God, please send us some meat. And God sent them, in the story, Yahweh, the desert God, they're the top God of Israel now, sent them quail. A bunch of birds fell out of the sky. I don't even know if they were alive. It doesn't even say they were alive. They were probably dead. I'm saying if the story is true, they ate these birds falling out of the sky. They started eating them, and they all dropped dead. So what do you think the people who saw that, who were very superstitious, very looking at nature as gods, when they saw these birds fall out of the sky and people were eating them, and they're like, oh gosh, I don't know, should I eat that? And then they saw people dying from eating those birds. They're like, oh, the Lord Yahweh, God, the God of the Bible, killed them because they were complaining. Because they see, oh, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to just eat this manna and be thankful. So once they got to Canaan, now they're in a land of plenty. Remember, milk and honey. Once they entered the land of Canaan, and once they occupied the land, the people had to learn how to eke out an existence from the ground. It is here where the conflict between two opposing religious views comes into conflict with each other. We have the Canaanite religion, which was a fertility religion. The essence of this conflict was the tension between the semi-nomadic religion, which was the Yahweh, God in the desert, right? The semi-nomadic religion of the Israelites, and the settled elements of the Canaanite religion. The Hebrew God was different from the gods of Canaanites. The Canaanites were farmers, and the Israelites were shepherds. The gods of the cycle of planting and harvesting were foreign to Israel, a people who served a God of migration. Now, I'm going to just stop sharing that because he's correct that they did have to appeal to gods, get it, for their crops. They started to do exactly what they did in Kemet and what they were doing before they got in Kemet, which was appealing to Canaanite gods. Now, did you have any questions before I show this information in the Bible, in Genesis, where there's a presence of reverence of Canaanite gods and Kemetic gods as well? Anything you want to say before I show it? I told you it's going to be short, but I'm going to show very solid information. Suntan's in the back. Okay, let me go ahead and Sonetter.
Just go on, carry on. Nobody comes up until you're ready, until you finish.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I'm almost so I showed you the background. I gave you a little commentary from an expert who also corroborates pretty much what my position is these people did not abandon these gods. And in the actual text that they have written on their history, there is the reverence of these gods. But over time, we have had many different groups of people who've gone in there and either manipulated it, hid it by changing it, removing it. However, when you look at the actual originals, there's so much in there that they can't even hide it. It's so much in there that they can't even hide it. So I'm going to show you something about the goddess Asher. Or Asherah. Okay, let's get this here. You've seen this before. But you're going to see it again. We have a lot of people who are arguing, debating about this, and some people who are saying, no, that's not right. That's not true. Asherah is just a tool. Asherah is one of the gods of the Canaanite pantheon. In the Ugaritic mythology, she is the wife of El. Remember the Israelites, it's in the text. In the Bible, the Israelites called God El. It's all through the book. Up until Exodus, where it is said, your people called me El. They knew me as El, but now you're going to call me Yahweh. That's in the Bible. Why is that important? Because when you look at this information, which is extra biblical information, you see that Yahweh is now El. The God El is Yahweh. And Yahweh is shown here in this piece of pottery with his wife, Asherah, his consort, his wife, the mother goddess that is mentioned all through the Bible, as well as El. So it says here, who's afraid of the goddess of the goddess of ancient Israel? Archaeological and literary biblical studies have long showed that the worship of a mother goddess was an early integral part of the religion of ancient Israel. Numerous goddess figurines, ritual objects, as well as rich iconography demonstrate the goddess worship was extremely important in the life of Israelite faith. While the biblical narrator disassociated Yahweh from any divine consort, we're talking about the Bible, the people who manipulated the Bible, instead associating the biblical Asherah with Baal, archaeological findings show that in some places Asherah was actually perceived as Yahweh's consort, of course, because she is the wife of El, and El became Yahweh. The Iron Age inscription from Kuntalet Ajrud in northeastern Sinai and Kirbet El Quam near Hebron featured a believer who blesses and vows in the name of Yahweh and his Asherah. That was an Israelite. Let's look at this. Okay, so as you see on the screen, you've seen this many times, but you're going to see it again. I want to show you the picture. I'm going to share it. Before I get to showing you the stuff in the, why is it down? Did you put it up?
No, it's sharing. What you talking about?
Oh, great. Okay. So what I want to show you is, before I get to the text, we're going to examine this extra biblical piece of pottery, this information that proves it. These, what happened?
Is that showing?
I know. Thank you. So if you look, I want to let you know that these gods were symbolized with bulls, with cattle, with cows, and with bull. So when you look at the gods, when you look at the piece, you can see there are cows here. A cow, an actual cow is feeding a calf. You see the cow, and the calf is nursing to the left. When you move more to the center, you see the gods depicted as cows, but they are like a chimera. They have cow heads and they have human bodies. They're standing upright. When you look at the cow that's representing Yahweh, with the head piece that's higher than the consort to the more toward the right, this depiction clearly has a male member of there's a phallic representation. There's a phallus. So this is the male that's represented as a bull, but is the god Yahweh. Then you go to the right. The one on the right is not a staff. It is not a tool, as some people try to mislead people and say, oh, this is talking about the Asherah tool. This is a representation of a female consort in the cow form, and she has breasts, as you see. She has breasts and she has no there is no phallus. So why is this important? Because you will be told, you will be misled that Asherah, Baal, El, those are nothing besides either determinants or determiners, or they are just common nouns naming tools. That is not true. It is God, and they are gods, and they are worshipped, and they were revered and worshipped by Israelites. Is there a idol, object or tool that's called an Asherah and that are called Baal? Yes. But there are two different times that you have to examine it. And in this is not a tool. This is a representation of a goddess. So we got that out of the way. Why did I want to show you that? Because when you saw the nursing child, when you see the mother represented as a cow, I want you to know that Asherah is represented as a cow. Who else? What other goddess is represented as a cow in other religion? Well, Het Heru, who is known as Hathor, she's also the holy cow. So you need to just know that those goddesses are represented as cows. Now, moving right along, getting to the Bible text. The Bible text that I want to show you of Asherah is basically, I talked about Genesis. It's in the story of Jacob with his two wives, Leah and Rachel. We're going to go, just get it going. We're going to go to Genesis 30. Okay. And I believe it's verse 13. I am going to go to the blue letter, so we can look at as closely as possible, because it's broken down. The words are in here. So here we are. Asherah and Asher have identical letters as far as the Aleph, the Shin, and the Resh, the Hebrew letters. With Asherah, there is the Ha on the end of it, but that is like added on for, I guess you could say, expression reason. If you're expressing, that's something more esoteric. I don't want to get into that. But basically, Asher and Asherah are the same words at the root. The name Asher and the name Asherah are identical at the root. What does that mean? It means that the goddess Asherah that came before this particular writing and the naming of Asher in this biblical text, the goddess Asherah predated this particular text and the writing about the son Asher. Why am I telling you that? Because women in this time, during the ancient times, did reverence and prayer and offerings to fertility gods and goddesses. The goddess Asherah was the goddess of fertility. In this region, when we look at the story, we see that Leah and Rachel are actually Syrian. I will show you, after I show you this text, an amulet that was found in that region in Syria that reverences the praise and the appealing to the goddess Asherah for fertility and thanking her for children. All right, that's very important, because Genesis 30:13 shows, it says, now we're going to read the translation, which has been completely, obviously, throughout thousands of years manipulated. So it says, and Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed, and she called his name Asher. This is actually a praise, like a type of song. When you look at it in the Hebrew, it's not just somebody saying, and this is what happened. It is actually a praise. When you go to it, you see it says Amar, and then it says Leah, Amar, it says Ser, but it's Asher. So it says Amar, Leah, Asher, Kai, Bat, Asher, Kara, Shem, Asher. So if you look at it, it has a rhythm where it's saying, she's praising. She says Asherah, and then she goes on, and then she says Asherah, and then she goes at the end, Asherah. She is praising the goddess Asherah. Does she name him Asher? Sure, the story says she does. But if you look at the actual text, it is a praise, a fertility praise to the goddess Asherah. And furthermore, Leah, the name Leah, doesn't just mean beautiful eye or soft eye. It means wild cow. Wild cow, Leah in the story is the more fertile one. Asher or Asherah is referred to as the wild cow in that region of a lot of the ancient text. I can get the Mesopotamian and also in the Canaanite. But let's get this piece. So I showed you that Asherah is represented and revered in Genesis. Anybody that's saying that this is a far stretch and you're sticking with the scriptures, it's not a far stretch, because in the scripture, Jacob tells his wives, stop worshiping these other gods. Stop praising these other gods. We got to stop. But the author of this particular text still reverenced the other gods, reverenced Asherah. Okay? But the narrative of the text is like, look, guys, we're going to stop praising the other gods. So even within the text, there's praise of the other gods. And outside of the text, extra biblically, we're going to see that they praised other gods. Let me get that information for you. So I'm going to stop that, and then I'm going to show you this. So I just mentioned that there's an amulet that was found, and that many different amulets and different groups of people, but this is a particular one that is hardcore evidence. It's Arslan Tash amulets. Now, of course, there's conversation over this, just like there's conversation over what I showed you from Kuntalet Ajrud with Yahweh and his Asherah, because we have a lot of people who want to fight against this over whatever reasons. And there are some scholars who just want to be thorough. Okay, so let's look at the Arslan Tash amulets. I'm sharing this, right? We just looked at the actual Bible in Genesis. Esoterically, we see that there is an actual fertility praise to the goddess Asherah, praising her for bringing forth the child from, I think it was, I forgot her name, the one, gosh, I forgot her name already, but it was her handmaid. It was Leah's handmaid. Also, remember in that same text that I just showed you previously, she couldn't have any more babies. She's like, oh, I can't have any more babies. What's going on? She appeals to the goddess Asherah. Why did I show you the information from Dr. Claude? It shows you the actual, you're not looking at it just on a page. How are these people living? When they couldn't have a baby, they went to the fertility goddesses. When they couldn't get rain, they went to the gods of rain. So in the story, even it hasn't even been removed, she's praising the goddess Asherah. She names her son Asher, but as I said, you can see she's saying it's like it's poetic. It's got a rhythm of it's like a poetic rhythm. It's a prayer. It's a praise. It's a song. So let's look at this amulet that supports this. This amulet was found, let me just get it enlarged a little bit more. The Arslan Tash amulets. The Arslan Tash amulets are Assyrian talismans found at Arslan Tash, Turkish Arslan Tash, literally lion stone, in northwest Syria. The site of ancient Hadatu. They are to be distinguished from the larger finds, such as the Arslan Tash reliefs. In 1933, Robert du Mesnil du Buisson purchased from a peasant 2 inscribed limestone plaques called Arslan Tash 1 and a smaller one called Arslan Tash 2. We will call them AT1 and AT2, which are now in the National Museum of Aleppo. His drawings and photographs of AT1 were published in 1939. Count du Mesnil du Buisson made gypsum cast of the tablets, though these are now lost. Description. Since the smaller rectangular plaque had a hole in one end, it was identified as an amulet. On the obverse, it has Lamassu, a winged lion with a human head, standing over a she-wolf with a scorpion tail, devouring a male or female figure. On the reverse is a marching god with the late Assyrian headgear, carrying an axe instead of the expected lightning bolt. From the limestone plaque, AT1 includes incantations. This is where we're getting with the praise and with the invocation, right? Incantations meant to deter demons from entering the household, and then appeals to such deities as, they have this written as Assur, but it's Asher. It appeals to such deities as Asher, Baal, Horan, and to the heaven and earth. Nevertheless, rather than Asher, some scholars interpret the inscription as referring to the female deity Asherah. Although other scholars like T. Castor proposed reading the first god name as Asher rather than Asherah, Cross and Saley support Asherah. Mesnil du Buisson and Kako published AT2 in 1971. It shows a male demon. It measured 53 by 33 millimeters and contains short inscriptions on both sides that are written in the same language script as the first amulet. Okay, so let's get back to this. It says the 2 tablets were dated to the 7th century BCE, and they call upon the sons of Im to protect the amulet wearer from the male stragglers. That should say stranglers, the Lamassu. So basically, the Lamassu and Lilith, it's asking to protect the children and people in the house from those gods. Let's see right here. This is a translation. Incantation. This is a translation of the actual. I'm going to read up to the part where it says the part about Asherah. Incantation against the flyers. Conjuration. Sasom, son of Pidar, pronounce the conjuration. And to the stranglers, say, the house I enter, you shall not enter. The court I tread, you shall not tread. Eternal covenants were made for us, Asher, or that should say Asherah. Asherah made them with us, and did every divinity and great one, the council of all our holy ones, by the conjuration of the heavens and earth forever, by the conjuration of Baal. So Asherah and Baal are in the same court. That is why many scholars have found that that should have been translated as Asherah. It goes on to say more about the guy's household, and it talks about a Kemetic god here. I believe Haran is a Kemetic god. But it talks about, let's see here. This is what is said, that this is Haran, that it's a Kemetic god. Other scholars are saying that it's the name of a man who's the person who owns the amulet, that Haran's wife, whose word is true, and her 7 rivals too, and the 8th wives of the holy Baal. So anyway, why is this important? Because it's showing an actual praise, a prayer, an invocation to the fertility goddess Asherah. You can do your research on this. It's been presented. It's a source, and so that's one thing I wanted to get out of the way. There is the praise and the reverence of the god Asherah in Genesis in that particular scripture. I want to go back to what I said about Leah. Leah is in Hebrew also referred to, well, she's correlated to a wild cow. And the wild cow is also a symbol of the goddess Asherah. Now, we talked just now about, well, I just brought you information on the goddess Asherah. No frill, no bells and whistles, but these are all facts. Now we're going to look at something. I'm going to revisit something that I showed you once before, but it was years ago. The goddess Het Heru, which is Hathor, is represented in Genesis as well. In the story of Abraham with his wife Sarai and her handmaid Hagar. Hagar is an Egyptian Kemetic princess, or I should say slave girl. You don't have to say princess. Slave girl in the story. In the story, Hagar, I got to be careful not to say Hathor, but she's a representation of Hathor. In the story, and I will show you the proof. In the story, Hagar has the first child of Abraham. How does this correlate to Kemet and the story of Hathor? Het Heru is the first representation of the mother of Heru before Isis is then represented as the mother of Heru, before Aset. So in Kemetic history, in the text, before there was the goddess Aset as the mother of Heru, Hathor, Het Heru, was represented as the mother of Heru. That's why her name is House of Heru, Het Heru. In the biblical story, Hagar is the first mother of the children of Abraham before Sarai. Now, I'm going to show you Hagar is Hathor, is Het Heru in the Bible. Within the text, I will show you. It is esoteric, but it's there. When you dig it out, you will see it. Okay, so let's get to basic Bible. Let's get to the scripture. So here is the Bible verse with, I've shown this before, but I want to get people, if people want to add in, discuss it, comment on it. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 16, verse 14. Ra, or Ra, it's pronounced Ra, R-O-I. Ra means, it's derived from the Hebrew word Ra, and it means to see or seeing. It means vision. It means seeing and vision. Oh, by the way, not just Het Heru is going to be referenced. We have Ra in here, the god Ra. The actual god Ra is El Ra. So it is most notably associated with the name El Ra. And we have the god El. So El Ra, remember the Hebrews, their god was El. El Ra, meaning the God who sees me. This is very important because I'm going to wait. Sundown, I know you're doing something else, but I want to ask you a question because you don't want Sundown in here. Sonetter, are you there? Sonetter, unmute. Sonetter, unmute your mic. Yeah. I'm going to bring Sunshine in because I wanted to ask some questions, and you're not really, as usual. Every time I do a presentation, he's always doing something else.
Bring him in.
No, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you know? Bring him in. You bring him in. Do you know who the god is of Kemet? That is the god of the all-seeing God of Kemet.
Who is it?
Who is it, Suntan?
You said what now?
Who's the all-seeing God of Kemet?
The all-seeing God of Kemet. I don't know.
Wow, Ra.
Yeah,
it's Ra.
Yeah,
that's why
I know it's Ra. But
no, not you. I'm just saying, like y'all, you know, I learned that over here, just like everybody else, I guess. So Ra. Okay, so as you see in the Bible, El Ra is that word is called seeing, but it is literally the name of Ra. El Ra, meaning the God who sees me. This is in the text. This is in the Bible.
Is it?
People would be hard pressed to try to disconnect the actual name Ra from the God who sees me, a name for God that appears in the Old Testament.
All right. Hey, Nepal, I apologize. I was trying to take care of something. You caught me when you said the God Ra is in the Bible, the same God. What are you talking about? Go over that.
Look at this person right here. Look at this person right here. Look at this sad person. Ra is not the all-seeing God of Kemet. Okay, so Ra isn't the all-seeing. The eye of Ra. Ra isn't the God of Kemet that sees all.
All right. Well, he don't know. Let's go.
I'm asking. I'm asking everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the eye of Horus.
The all-seeing eye of Ra.
Right.
There's. Am I in a flip world? I thought I learned that over here.
Right.
There's not the all-seeing eye of Ra.
But you're listening to the people from the comments.
No, I'm not listening to the people from the comments.
I'm saying, come in, man. And I want everybody to know that
No, I'm not listening to people from the comments. I asked, and people don't seem sure, and I don't want to move forward because this is very important. Thank you, Ben Nisut, somebody who actually knows Kemet. Okay, so in the scripture we see the all-seeing God, the God that sees all, El Ra. Now, in the biblical reference, it says the name El Ra is found in the book of Genesis, specifically in the narrative concerning Hagar. Remember, I said Hagar is Hathor, is Het Heru, is also Sekhmet. The Egyptian maidservant, and she's also supposed to be Egyptian in the story, the Egyptian maidservant of Sarai, the wife of Abram. This name is significant in the context of God's omniscience and his personal care for individuals. Right there, it says God's omniscience. He knows everything. He knows everything. He sees everything. The all-seeing eye of Ra. Okay, in Genesis 16, Hagar encounters the angel of the Lord after fleeing from Sarai's harsh treatment. The angel comforts her and promises that her descendants will be too numerous to count. In response to this divine encounter, Hagar, who I'm saying is Het Heru, declares, "You are the God who sees me." And she names the place Be'er Lahai Ra. So it's actually Ra in the name of this place, which means well of the living one who sees me. The verse states, so Hagar, this is the verse. So Hagar gave this name to the Lord who had spoken to her. "You are the God who sees me." For she said, "Here I have seen the one who sees me." Now that's the English, right? Let me keep reading this and I'm going to get to the actual Hebrew, and I hope that it's very impressive to many people because you're going to see what's underneath the surface. Theological significance. The name El Ra emphasizes God's attribute of omniscience and his intimate involvement in the lives of his people. It reflects the belief that God is not distant or detached, but is actively aware of and concerned with the circumstances of individuals. This encounter with Hagar highlights God's compassion and his willingness to reach out to those who are marginalized or in distress. Culture historical context. In the ancient Near Eastern context, names held significant meaning and were often reflective of personal experiences or divine encounters. Hagar's name of God as El Ra is a profound acknowledgement of her personal experience with the divine, marking a moment of revelation and comfort in her life. Remember, she's a Kemetic woman. She's Egyptian, and in the story, she's calling him El Ra. Application for believers. For believers, the name El Ra serves as a reminder of God's constant presence his ability to be there. Okay, we get that. The account of Hagar and the revelation of God as El-Ra can inspire faith and God's attentive nature. So basically, that was the biblical narrative and summary of that. But the crux of it is that we are talking about the word Ra in Hebrew means seeing vision, the God who sees me. Now, I'm going to show you in Genesis, in the blue letter, what's going on here. Okay, let me I'm almost done with this. I'm just showing these two scriptures, especially in Genesis, because Genesis is like I told you, there's not one single prohibition. There's polytheism going on in the book of Genesis that hasn't been removed. And it's not being said that it's bad. It's not, nothing is being condemned about it. You know, how people will come in and say, yeah, that's why God punished us. But the entire book of Genesis shows polytheism.
So I got a question for you because you're bringing out something.
Okay, yes, and I'm almost done with this. So definitely, let me just get to the part where
I have a question, Brother Sam.
Let me get this, please. I'm almost done with this.
Questions will be answered.
Yes, I'm ready. I just wanted to get to the part where she says, the one who says that okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay. I'm going to screen share this, and then I'm going to show you something regarding it. All right. I have one more thing after this to screen share, and then I'll be done. All right. So here's the text. It says in the Hebrew, the way it's written is, she called Kara. So it says she called the name Yahweh, the Lord of the Lord, Debar, and it spoke to her. And it says right here, God, she says, God seest me. That's the God that watches over her, right? El-Ra. For she said, I have also, she said, for I have also, let me get it. For I have also looked, here it is. This is a real sharp edge blade right here. She said, for I have also looked after him. And now he seest me. She's asking a question. Well, this is very interesting. You know why? Because Hagar, who I say is Hathor, I have one more thing to show you. In the book, in the Kemetic book of the Holy Cow, I'm getting it right now. I had it in the silent. Oh, here it is. The heavenly cow, not holy, but that's cute. See, holy cow. We have actually that in our language where we say holy cow. Okay, so now we just saw her say the God. She said El-Ra sees me. He looks after me. Remember, he's caring for her in the desert. She said, the one that looks after me, the God that looks after me, I looked after that God. I just showed you that, right? So let's see. I'm going to share this. And this is the last thing. If you can see it on the screen, let me read this. And then I will be done presenting this proof and information that there are other gods in the Bible revered and praised and appealed to and called on, and they appear. So let's get this. What is this? This is the World History Encyclopedia. We're going to go to some excerpts and some commentary in the Book of the Heavenly Cow. This is an ancient story, a Kemetic story. The Book of the Heavenly Cow is an ancient Egyptian Kemetic text dealing with the rebellion of humanity against the sun god Ra. Remember the all-seeing eye of Ra? His destruction of the rebels through the goddess Hathor. Hathor is Het Heru. Hathor is represented as Hagar in the Bible. The reversal of this decision and Ra's mercy, remember the mercy? And his ascent into the higher heavens leaving Earth in a fallen state. The work has been compared with the Mesopotamian R.I.S.E and the biblical tale of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood. And it is thought to have been known in some form during the first intermediate period, 2181 to 2040 BCE. I'm going to get right down to what it says. Okay, the text was found in the tombs of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. This is a primary source. So let's get to the story. What is the story about? I'm almost done here. So what is the story about? The title of the work has been translated as the Book of the Cow of Heaven, the Book of the Celestial Cow, the destruction of mankind, the destruction of humanity. Since it was composed, all right, that's not, okay, here it is. Here's the story. This tale begins after Ra had created the world and was king of the gods and humanity. Prior to beginning of the story, an audience would have been acquainted with this creation of myth of Ra in his form of Atum. Stood on the primordial mound, presence of God Noon. We know all this. I want to really get down to the part because I know people want to get in this. Let me get to the part about the goddess. All right. The story begins with humanity plotting against Ra. They're plotting against him because he has grown old and they feel he can no longer manage the affairs of the world. Ra hears of their scheme to overthrow him and calls the other gods to council to ask their advice. So let's see here. This is the part I want to show you. Ra, so Noon, the primeval force from which creation sprang, advises Ra to send his eye to smite the humans, and Ra agrees. Why is that important? Who's the eye they're talking about? Well, let's see. Let's see who. Thank you. The Eye of Ra is most often personified as the goddess who either does Ra's bidding or escapes from his control to wreak havoc in far-off land before either returning or being forced to come back. These episodes are characterized by Egyptologists as a type of story known as a distant goddess, and they always involve a transformation of some sort. The Book of the Heavenly Cow is just this type of story, as Ra chooses Hathor, Heru, to carry out his will and destroy humanity. Hathor is released on the world and does her job well, killing thousands for Ra, but Ra then repents and tells her to stop. Hathor. So there's one more I wanted to show you, by the way, but I'll hold off and let people talk because I just remembered there's another part in Numbers where Sekhmet. So see, why did I show you that? Because she's in the desert and she says to Ra, oh, you look over me is the one who looks over me now. I looked over you before. That's actually in the text. She says it. She says the one, she's saying El Ra, the all-seeing God. She's saying, you look over me. I looked over you. Now you're looking over me, because she became Sekhmet. She was his eye, and she looked over him by wreaking havoc on those who wanted to destroy him. That is in the text of Genesis. That is the esoteric reverence, praise, and acknowledgement of these other gods in that region. And that's Israel. Okay, so thank you.
Ready for the questions and answers, Nepal?
Sure, everybody can join the conversation.
Okay, the first one, I need y'all to turn on y'all cameras, man.
I tried to turn them on, but I couldn't.
Sebastian Boyd. Okay, I got you, Harlan. You good?
Okay.
Sebastian Boyd. All right. Sebastian Boyd is a pastor that I met on 125th, right, brother?
Yes, sir.
I met you on 125th Street, and you were speaking outside with your speaker, and you was getting it in and trying to bring God to the people. So you have a question for my queen, Nepal Shada. Let's go, brother.
God bless you. God bless everyone on the panel. I appreciate you, Brother Sa, for this opportunity. But I won't be long, but I want to ask the young queen here first and foremost, do you have a personal relationship with Yahushua?
Yes, I do. Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Okay, second question. Have you received the Holy Spirit since you believe?
Yes, I have. The Holy Spirit comes along with Yahushua.
Okay.
You can't receive Yahushua without the Holy Spirit.
Okay, we can dive into that another day, but my question is, according to 1 Timothy chapter number 1, verse number 4, Paul speaks to his young understudy Timothy, and he informs Timothy in this. He says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than edifying or godly edifying, which is in faith, so do. My question is: you stated that that Hagar was speaking to a different deity other than the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Can you pinpoint directly in Scripture to all of us in the King James Version Bible where when she was cast away by Sarai? And who spoke to her at that point? Who spoke to her? Can you give us a chapter and verse? Who spoke to her out of the 66 canon that we have today? Who spoke to Hagar in the wilderness?
Oh, I just showed that, but I can show it again.
Let's go to the canon that the whole world looks to. Right now, let's go to the 66 canon that we have. If you want to go to the Ethiopian canon, whatever canon you have, but let's work out of the King James Version because this is the canon that I'm sure everyone has right now in front of them. So go to the canon and show me the scripture that points to who spoke to Hagar when Sarah sent her away.
Okay, I will do that for you, my friend.
I appreciate you, my sister. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to answer a few questions.
Oh, yeah, no worries. So here we are. As everyone can see, the brother requested the KJV. And as you see at the top of the screen, it does say KJV, correct? You see that, everybody, in the blue letter?
Yes.
So this is the scripture that I just used. And so I clicked on Genesis 16, verse 13. And here it is also in the Masoretic Hebrew.
Well, what we want to do, let's just stay focused on the King James Version. The reason why I'm going somewhere with this. Let's stay focused on the 66.
Right, it's right here. It says English King James Version on the left. So you said you wanted me to show it to you?
Yeah. Well, read. Well, who spoke to her who's speaking to her right now?
According to the text, the Most High is speaking to her.
Can you read, if you don't mind?
Yes. Sure. And she called the name of the Lord. Actually, so let's go back.
Start at verse 1. Start at verse 1.
I'm starting.
Want me to read for you? Want me to read? I don't mind reading. Want me to read?
Sir, give me a minute, okay?
Okay.
You asked me who spoke to her.
Yeah, who's speaking to her right now? Yeah.
The entire verse says that she called on a God first. You do agree with that, right?
Well, let's do this, my sister, if you don't mind. I appreciate you being patient with me. Let's do this. I start at verse 1. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me, right? But I want to let's move forward to the wilderness part. Let's go to verse number 10. Let's jump to verse number 9. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, matter of fact, let's go to verse 6. And Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Thy maid is in thy hand. Oh man, sorry, pardon me, my wife. I'm sorry. I'm coming really quick. My wife didn't come in the door. All right, so let's go back to it. Verse number 6. I apologize for when. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by the fountain of the water in the wilderness. By the fountain of the. Now that's my question. Who is this Lord?
The Lord, according to the text, they're referring to the Most High.
Okay, now what is the Most High's name?
In the text?
According to this text, who is the Lord? Who is the Lord? You said the Most High, but what is his name?
It says Yahweh in the text.
Okay, so Yahweh speaks to her at this point, right? So let's read verse number 8. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's
Wait,
maid.
wait. Can you just take a second here? Because you said verse 7.
I'm reading on now. I asked you a question. Who is the Lord?
Well, wait a minute. I know, but we're going thoroughly from what your point is. You said, who is the Lord? It's Yahweh, right?
Yeah, because I asked you a question. Who spoke to her? Who spoke to her?
I'm trying to answer you, sir.
I'm sorry, please forgive me.
It doesn't say in verse 7 that the Lord spoke to her.
It doesn't say that. It says, and the angel of the Lord, and the angel of the Lord.
The Lord found her by the fountain.
16, 7, verse 7.
Yes, it says it. She doesn't say spoke to it, but it says Yahweh, but it says found her, not spoke to her.
Okay, I'm sorry. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain at the water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of shore, and said, verse 8, and said, who's speaking to her?
This is, again, we're talking about the Lord, the Most High.
Okay, right. Hagar, Sarah's maid. So the question I asked, because you had mentioned earlier that, now keep in mind, I do understand that there are many gods in the Bible, but when we consider the children of Israel, they had their own God. There were many gods, and to Israel, they were false gods, false deities. Yes, the Egyptians, prior to going into the land of Egypt, worship and serve Yahuwah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, prior to going into Egypt, right? And though Abraham had a slave in his home, that has nothing to do with who they serve and who they worship. Even when Sarah sent her away, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob spoke to her to go back. It was not a deity from Egypt. It was the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, because at this point, this is who she's associated with through the lifeline, not by birthright, but by the lineage connected to Abraham, because she had a son by Abraham, though he was not the chosen. Isaac was the chosen. Ishmael was the second or the first, though he was not the chosen of God or Yahweh. Right. So we have to understand who spoke to her when she was sent away. That was Yahweh. Yahuwah spoke to her via the angel of the Lord, came to her. And though you speak that the Kemetic thing that she was Kemetic, has nothing to do with who Israel served, who the Hebrews served, who the Hebrews followed.
All right.
Okay.
All right, brother, you got to let her talk now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you. And I appreciate you coming in, because we don't want to, I don't want an echo chamber. It's important that people see the both sides. However, you didn't at all address what I actually presented, and that's okay. You didn't address anything about Genesis 16:13. You didn't give us a reason of why why the Most High is called El-Ra in this particular verse. You didn't show us of why the name actual Ra is in there, and it also means all-seeing. You didn't show us, give us an explanation of how it's so similar to the story of the heavenly cow, how she watched over Ra. She watched over Ra, and then Ra had mercy in that story. And then we come to this scripture, Ra is having mercy. And she says, wow, the God who watches over me, I watched over you before. In the heavenly cow, she watches over Ra. And I'm just wanting to hear maybe your take on this. I know you're on another side of it, but I'd like for you to explain. And you also agree that they worshiped other gods in the Israelite ancient times. So it's not far-fetched that they would even write something like this in reverence to Ra and Sekhmet. It looks like it's actually mirroring the heavenly cow. So if you could talk to us about how Hathor, her name is so close to Hagar, close to Heru more than Hagar. If you could talk to us about how Ra is actually the name of the God in this story. They're actually calling the Most High El-Ra. Can you talk to us about that, Pastor?
where's error? Where's that in the scripture? What you're referencing? Where's that in the scripture? Let me speak to that thought. Though. Now, remember, as I stated, the children of Israel understood who they served, even when God called Abram out of the land of Ur, of the Chaldeans, right? They worship and serve the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. This is who they worship. And though there were other deities in the earth realm at that time, Israel, or the children of Hebrew, was a carved out people that God had chosen to not intertwine now the worship of the gods. Any other god to Israel was a false deity. It was an idol to them. And though at times they intertwined with other nations, they were in disobedient to God when they did that. Though there were other entities and deities, the children of Israel, or the Hebrews prior to them becoming Israel, because they only came Israel at the life of Jacob. They did not worship and serve other gods. They only worship and serve the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. I do agree there were other deities, but the children of Israel, or the Hebrew people, did not serve or worship other entities or deities. This is why I asked the question, who spoke to Hagar in the wilderness? It was the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, who informed her and encouraged her to go back. It was not. It was not a polytheistic belief for the children of Israel from the time that they came out of the land of Egypt in bondage, when they dwelt in the land of Goshen, when they dwelt in the land of Egypt under bondage, they came out. And of course, just like us today in this civilized 21st century, we as African-American people and Black people, and he who know who they are, we were enslaved for 400 years here. Of course, we picked up ideology. Of course, we picked up belief, but we now are coming into understanding of who we worship, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. When they were in Egypt for 400 years, of course, they picked up ideology. Of course, they picked up a spirit. This is why when God chose Moses to come in and bring them out of the land of Egypt, he severed them again and began to get Egypt up out of them during the course of that 40 years in the wilderness. And when they kept that mentality of Egypt, God killed off all those 20 and up, and allowed Joshua to take a different generation into the promised land, because they had an Egypt mentality, though they still worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And to your point, I will agree with you, my sister, when Moses went to Mount Sinai for 40 days and for 40 nights, they had rehearsed or encouraged even Aaron to make them a false god. God told Moses to come down because they're in rebellious, because they still had an Egypt mentality. Yet God was trying to encourage them to understand who they were to look to, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So no, Israel, the children of Israel, never followed or believed in a polytheistic God. They might have had some polytheistic ways. They may have some polytheistic ways about them, but God, even though he was still trying to eradicate that or get that up out of them. Remember, Moses even married an Egypt woman. And
Pastor Boyd, come on, sir. Just give me a minute.
All right, Pastor, you got to let us uninterrupted.
Yeah, you're doing a lot. You didn't say one word about the scripture, and it's disconcerting. I even gave that's why at the top of my presentation, I quoted Dr. Claude Mariottini, who is also a pastor like you, but he tells the truth about the polytheism. You just sat here and said that they weren't polytheistic. What? Okay, I ask you again, Pastor. I want you to focus, please. I'm not being condescending. It's important.
No, ask him no more questions, Paul. We got to get to other people.
Okay, yeah, let me ask King J. Well, King J, you can speak, but I'm leaving this on the screen because there's nothing said. Yes, you're welcome. I'm glad you're here. There's nothing said about the God. Somebody saying, oh, it says Roi. Even if it says Roi, in French it would say Ra. But if you want to say Roi, El Roi, it's still referring to the God Ra, and I showed proof. What would you like to add, King J?
Peace to the panel. And I think I'm glad you kept it up, because this is my point of contention. This does not say El Ra. It says El Roy. So this would literally mean the God who sees me. In the text, the word Roy would mean what we see sees me. So in the context of what it's being used in, it's not being used to refer to the Egyptian deity Ra. That was crazy. And anybody who co-signed her saying that Ra for to see was crazy, because in the Metanetta, Ra does not mean to see. The only text that I did find in the Bible that had the word Ra in it was Isaiah 45:7, where it says God creates peace and he creates Ra. And the word
Which
Ra
is evil, and yes.
Hold on.
That's not the same word.
Who's telling me to hold on? Who's telling me to hold on, though? You, King James?
I was telling
No, I didn't cut you off. I said Ra means evil. I'm listening to you. That's not cutting you off.
Exactly. Ra means evil. So
no, he talking to me, Nepal. I did that. My apologies, King J.
It's all love, Harvey. You know, I mess with you. I'm just trying to get it out. So when we see Isaiah 45:7, that is the instance of occurrence where we see Ra, and it's in, like we just said, meaning evil or a disaster. What you're showing, R.I.S.E, simply means to see. Now, when we go to the actual text, it says she gave, and I'm reading from the NIV 16:13. It says she gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me, for she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. So in its contents, it's not being used as a name of the God at all. It's actually being used as a nameless Namina, as the pastor kind of referred to as God of our father, God of Abraham, God, Lord of, as a patrilineal type of a clan, type of a tribal deity, nameless deity. That's not the actual name of the deity itself. I would just like to make that clear as well. When she says here, you are the God who sees me, that's not the name of the God. Where she says, this is where you're talking about where it says R.I.S.E, where she says, you are the God who sees me. So it would be you are Ha El Roy. That's what it would say. That's not the name of
AI. God said the God, the all-seeing God is Heru.
Yeah, it ain't got nothing. Yeah, that ain't even
the eye of Ra in the story of the heavenly. You're going to have to mute out now. You already said what you need to say. The God of Ra is the no, because you're repeating it. I didn't say.
We're talking about. You're not answering my point. You're talking about what Sa said.
Yeah, but before you talk about what Sa said, I asked at the top. Are we saying that there's no all-seeing eye of Ra? Is that what you're going to put out there?
I'm saying that your initial premise is wrong. So anything after that?
No, I don't need you to talk about my initial premise. I need answers.
I'm answering
it. So you can't answer that? Can anybody? Maybe Harmon.
I'm answering it if you keep cutting me off in the pod.
No, I'm not cutting you off, King J. I need you to hold on a second. Harwin, is there an all-seeing eye of Ra? Yes or no in the Kemetic text?
Yes, it is. It's a right and a left. So these attributes were taken up by Heru and Asar. And Asar is one of the souls of Ra. So you're correct.
So when Sa-Neter went to AI, why did AI, when he said I don't even know what he asked, why would AI tell him differently? Can you explain that?
Because it didn't really say different. It just went to one of the eyes that Ra is represented through Heru. Heru is a rebirth incarnation of his father, Asar, right? And then in the text of the hymns to Amun-Ra, the souls of Amun-Re, you will see that Asar is one of the souls of Re. He becomes united with him. Then if you look in the Perham Heru, you will see that
You're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? I'm talking. Is it good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, so that AI wasn't necessarily wrong either. It just was vague. But to address what King J said, bro, if you look at that verse, it's not in the verb tense. It's in the noun tense. Nepal, if you bring up Genesis 16:13 again and go to the Hebrew and click on Ray. And
let me get it.
When they say Roy, it's a spatial diet. It's no different than when the Greeks say Ra and when the Egyptians say Ray. So then
I think it's kind of King J, let him. King J, you said you put your information out. You said that it's wrong. I want to hear from someone else who can add into it, and then we can come back to you. But you're wrong, and we're about to show you. So let's go ahead and get to that again. I'm going to screen share it again because this is esoteric information. This isn't gonna be, it's hard for a lot of people to swallow, but it's in the text if you look at it deeper. So here is the if you can see it up on the screen, and then I can see other people want to get in here. Like I said, I'll come back to you, King J, but you're just repeating what you already said, my friend. All right, here's the text that you wanted to see. It's up here, 16:13, Genesis. Let's get to Ra or Roy. Okay, so here it is. What did you want to see? What? He's breaking up.
You're breaking up, Harwin. Harwin, we can't hear you.
You're gonna have to go out and come back in.
Hey, while he's doing that, let me say this real quick. I am the one that's canceling the debate. I'm canceling the debate with Harwin and
You already said that. Yeah, you did it.
No, I'm gonna say it again. I'm canceling different people in here now. I'm canceling.
Oh no, I mean it like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm canceling the debate with Harwin and Chuck Morgan because Harwin still refused to give me a date and time, and I'm not going to be sweating him and running him down and tracking him. If he wanted to debate, you know he would have gave me a date and he would have gave me a time. But because he's playing games with it, I just say I'm going to cancel it and move on. Somebody else would like to debate him on that. And that's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Nepal.
No, that's okay. You know, it's crazy. I'm looking at this one. Do you see on the screen what happened? Or is this, am I tripping?
What are you talking about?
Did you take it down?
No, it's on the screen. You're showing it.
Do you see what that says? H7200?
Yes, we see it. It's on the screen.
What does the Hebrew say?
It say Ra. Ra.
Yeah, now it says Ra.
Yeah.
It's not saying Roy anymore, and I'm wondering what happened. Oh, that's maybe whatever. But okay, we have other people in here. I guess we're waiting for him to come back. Did you want to call in somebody, Senator?
You call on Issa Queen is in the building. What up, Issa Queen?
Peace to everybody on the panel. Peace to everybody in the comments. I'm still trying to grasp the conversation where y'all at, but I'm loving what I'm hearing. And great presentation, by the way.
All right, thank you, Queen.
You're welcome. Great presentation. But yeah, I'm just listening for right now.
Okay, great.
We got Harwin back in the building. Harwin, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Did you hear what I just
said? A lot better.
People know. I just let the people know that I canceled the debate. Well, I just let the people know that I canceled the debate because you still have yet come up with a date. And so I'm not going to be tracing you around. You're still my brother. You're still allowed to come on, but I don't want to even talk about it no more. I don't want to talk about you or Chuck. We just move on from there, brother. So I let the people know I canceled it. So you ain't got to feel embarrassed about just saying you canceled it. I canceled it, brother. Go ahead and deal with Nepal now. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, yeah, it's a root of, I saw the 7200 is a root of this. It's the 7210. Okay, here's the verse that, here's the word up here.
Scroll up. Scroll up.
Yeah.
Scroll up to the whole Masoretic verse, the Masoretic text verse.
There it is.
Click on it, right? It's like right in the middle after L. It says L, then Ra'i. It's not even Roy, it's pronounced Ra'i.
But the crazy thing is that this is a Hebrew word.
Scroll down. I know because the Hebrew. This is Hebrew that was reconstructed.
She's trying to suggest that because the Hebrew word Roy means to see that it has something to do with
King J. King J, you got to hold on, man.
No, he's frustrated that it's correct.
That's
weird.
King
I didn't know that you got stuck on this religion like that, King J. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Read that. Yeah. I guarantee you it doesn't say verb. I'm driving right now, so I can't look. I guarantee you it's not being used as a verb to see. It's being used as a common noun.
It says noun. We already know. I already showed that in the
So King J, this is not a verb. What happened is what Nepal said is correct. The text has been altered and they translated it as if it was being a verb. But actually in that verse, the bar, Yahweh the bar means to speak. And he literally spoke after she called on him as Elroy, God who sees him. So why would a God disagree with a term? Why would he be an answer to a pagan word? That's a rhetorical question. Hold on. That's a rhetorical question. That you ain't got to answer that.
I do want to.
I know, but when you said Ra is evil, it's my turn, bro. It's my turn. I apologize for cutting you off. You know, I cut you off too. Ain't no love lost. Still my brother. When you brought up the word Ra'ah, that's different from Ra'i. Ra'ah is a homonym that means evil. Now I know you're not gonna say Ra means evil in Nedu Netzer. So I want to ask you this real quick. This is a real question. What does Ra mean in ancient Egyptian?
So, this is the whole point that I'm making.
No, I just want you to answer that real quick before you go, because you said it don't mean that.
It can mean day or radiance.
Can I speak after them?
Okay, so
it doesn't mean to see. So it's like it's a false equivalence. I don't
No. She's not saying. She's saying the one who looked after me.
King J,
well, whatever.
King J, just walk with me, bro.
I'm walking with you.
You know what, Harwin, don't ask him questions. Just make the point, and then we got to move forward because it's clearly that he.
I'm gonna make the point. It's cool. So to say that it doesn't mean to see is not fair, because you don't know what Ra actually means. You can't.
Oh my goodness, you're cut off. We do not. I don't hear him. Maybe everybody else does.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you now.
Okay, so how it's used in the text when Hathor, she's called Nub Hathor, which means golden eye, Nub Arat. She's called a gold eye, and then that same eye of Ra in the text, that's from Egypt was born from, where the mech comes from. So it's an attribute of what you would call Ra. There's nothing wrong with them translating it that way until they try to make it like it's a verb when it's a noun.
All right. All right. The word Ra, don't means to see.
We know that it's evil in Hebrew. We already know that.
Okay. So the word Ma, M-A-A, means to see.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this up again because obviously
that's not the only word to see. It's Arat is also to see. There's multiple words in Middle
pull this up again, please, Sonetta. You must have been. Look at this. You got to understand that we're dealing with so many changes in this text, and even with all the changes, they still can't hide it. So everybody coming up with, I know Ra means evil in Hebrew, but in this text, in the Bible, the word, what you're saying, Roy, Roy, Ra, whatever you want to say. This is right here. Look, this is the topical encyclopedia Bible Hub. The term Ra is derived from the Hebrew word Ra, which means seeing. Sonetter, you looked it up. Listen to this.
Yeah, but that's Hebrew. That's Hebrew. But in the Middle Netra,
we're not talking about
let me finish. M-A-A means to see, and it also means a symbol of the human eye. So that's what that represents. And when you're dealing with Kemet, you are inside of the Hebrew. That's the term for Hebrew.
Exactly.
In ancient Middle Netra, it's Ma, M-A-A, and that means to see, which is a symbol of the human eye.
You already said that. You know why I'm getting frustrated? You want to know why I'm frustrated? Everybody, hold on. We're supposed to be on a level of intelligence. I'm talking about a Hebrew text that has arcane, esoteric information on a Kemetic God. I'm not going to be reading anything that's a Kemetic word in here. Can we get back on track?
Yeah, it ain't gonna be direct, exact right translation and meaning. So there's many words to see in Middle Netra.
That don't make sense.
My eye ain't the only one, and my eye can also mean something that's true. So it just depends on the context and how it's used.
Okay, let's get back to the text. Like I said, we're dealing with, because I guess King J missed this part. We're dealing with a group of people who are polytheistic in that region. I already say region, in that region, in that area. We know that there is zero prohibition in Genesis of people worshiping other gods. We also know in Genesis that the story of Jacob and others never said you will be condemned for worshiping other gods. Now, before I move forward, because I see if to walk it down very slowly, is anybody going to dispute that?
I got God Energy. You want to speak next after you?
Yeah, go ahead, God Energy.
Peace, peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. Thank you. So Nepal, what people that are contesting you are trying to say is that you are establishing folk etymology off of the basis of false friends, meaning the Ra'ah, meaning to see, and Ra in the Medu Neter, they sound alike. So in linguistics, they're called false friends. What you are attempting to do is establish that, well, maybe, I hope what you are attempting to do is establish that they are cognates, meaning the Ra'ah in the God to see me context is the same as Ra in the Medu Neter. And there would have to be correspondence there if Ra'ah is meant to represent an Egyptian god, and the fact that it is Ra'ah is an Egyptian word, then you would have to establish form and meaning in the Medu Neter. So you would have to then go to the lexicon, the ancient Egyptian lexicon, and establish form and meaning between the Egyptian Ra and your Ra'ah. It's obvious that form is there. So half of your job is done because they do share form. Ra and Ra'ah, they share form. What you would have to do now is correlate meaning in the Egyptian lexicon, which is, I think, what Sa-Neter and King J were trying to, elucidate. And Sa-Neter even gave Ma'ah. And from that information, Ma'ah and Ra'ah would be the cognates. That it seems like Ma'ah and Ra'ah are the cognates there. But you have a leg to stand on when he also said that Ra was the symbol for the eye, which in the context from the Bible, you're saying means to see me. So if they're going to disconnect an eye from seeing me, that seems ridiculous, which speaks to your point. But in the lexicon, you would have to go to both lexicons and establish form and meaning, and then build your case from there. If I grasp what your point is correctly.
Right. Thank you. My point, and I appreciate that. He took it to focusing on that word, even if it said Yahweh. My point is that there's a worship of another God in this text. And I'm proof. El Ra is just part of the proof. But even if I remove that name, this is a reference. This correlates to or mirrors the heavenly cow, where she is a Egyptian woman in the story, and she's calling on her God. By the way, getting into the context of the story, why would she call on Yahweh when she's an Egyptian woman? But okay, he wants to fight me on that. If he wants to say, yeah, he wants to say she's not calling on Ra. Okay, even if the text said the Lord or Yahweh, she in the heavenly cow story, the God of that story has mercy. In this story, the God is having mercy. In the heavenly cow, I said she represents Hagar, who watched over Ra in the heavenly cow. And then she says in the text, in the verse, it says, the God who sees me is looking over me, and I looked over him. So I can read the text again, the verse, but yeah, I get what you're saying. He's focusing on El Ra. That's about it, though. He can't get around the other stuff, like the other stuff about the heavenly cow.
Nepal, can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
So God energy is correct. So this is how you do this.
You next.
The word, that's not the only word for to see. So the M would not be interchangeable for the R in this case, but sometimes in Coptic, God energy, you're right. But in this case, it's not. When you look at the word, for one of the words to create is arat, and it's spelled with the eyeball and with the loaf of bread. This is called a metathesis when the consonants switch around. So arat is spelled A-R-A-T, and the word for create is ari. It's spelled with the eyeball. Now, when you look at ra'ah, it's not the same as the evil word ra'ah, resh ayin. It's more in relation to form of the word ro'ay, which is spelled resh aleph yod. Those are not the same words. So to see in Egyptian with the eyeball for create is arat, the eyeball. And that will cover all our bases for Nepal, what Nepal is saying.
All right, go ahead, King.
And before you go, King J, I just want to read this scripture real quick that I mentioned to God Energy. So it says, and she called the name of the Lord Yahweh. That's what it says, because the word Lord. But it said she spake unto her. Wait, I'm sorry. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her. Let me see. Let me read it in English because I'm getting ahead of myself. So she called unto the name of the Lord that spake unto her, thou God seest me. All right. That's what she says. Thou God seest me. And that's El Ra. So then it says, damn, I don't know why I have it like this. It's too big. Let me reduce this so I can get to the whole screen. All right. It says, thou have I also here looked after him that seest me. That's the part I wanted to get to. So it says, have I also looked after him that seest me? Why would she be saying to God, I looked after you? Because it's talking about the heavenly cow where she went in protection of Ra to kill the people who were plotting against him. So I just wanted to point that out. Go ahead, King J.
I appreciate that. So, okay. So, I definitely is not often, but I really agree with what the brother God Energy said 100%. He kind of summed it up. He said you're trying to kind of make linguistic cognates, but what you're probably doing is making false cognates, right? Sometimes we see long words. They don't mean that they are directly derivative from it. Because you see a Hebrew, for one, it doesn't make sense for you to say that the Hebrew word for Ra means evil or disaster, but then say that this word that you're showing that's spelled R-O-I is also pronounced Ra, but means to see. So that would hint to me or allude to me that the word is actually probably pronounced either Roy, El Roy, or El Ra'a. So that would make a distinguishment in two different words. In two different Hebrew words, which has nothing.
Strong's H 7200.
Which has nothing to. You keep cutting me off. Yeah, ra'ah.
No, I'm not cutting you off. There's also another word that's exactly
says, what I just said, ra'ah.
But it doesn't. And wait, can you do me a favor?
Are you gonna let me finish landing my plane? Or are you gonna
please finish. Please finish. Go ahead. Finish.
Because everybody else talked unlimited.
So, no, go ahead.
So that's exactly how I pronounced it, Ra'ah. So that would mean that it's not pronounced Ra. So it's kind of like you have a false premise. You're trying to attach false cognates to a Meter Egyptian deity Ra that doesn't mean anything. Even in Meter Ra means day or radiance. The symbol for it is the actual sun, a circle with a dot in it. And it doesn't mean to see. So even when you go to the Meter, you're making false cognates that doesn't even apply. You're all over the place.
No, okay, now you can be quiet.
King J, the word for day
because when he says I'm all over the place, then show me where I'm all over the place.
All right, you gotta let him go, though, Nepal. This is the toughest environment. Let him go. You can handle it.
I'm not hurt by him, but he's all over. It's like that pastor that just kept talking and talking. I don't have patience for that.
Let me finish, man.
I am letting him finish, but I want him to point out where I'm wrong. Point out where is it? Where's it wrong?
The false cognates, right? When you say Ra, when we're looking at both of the Hebrew words Ra.
Don't take that down anymore. This is my presentation.
Yeah, wait until you get ready. When you get ready to speak, you can put it up.
No, because while he's talking, I want it to be showing. Why are you jumping off the ship? Go finish. You don't have to stop talking. Sonetta just took that down. Are
So
you done?
in the meta Ra, in reference to the eyes, right? You have the eye of Horus and you have the eye of Ra. So one is the left eye, one is the right eye. So it's called the Wajet, right? We would say it Wajet, left eye, right eye. So they have nothing to do with one another. And it's a far reach. I think you're looking to make this to be a part, your premise to make your argument, because without this, your premise is flawed.
Okay.
So I think you need to.
Thank you.
King J, you ignored the word Adat, bro.
No, hold on.
Let him finish,
He
y'all.
was done. What? How long do we have to let him talk?
Until he finishes. Let him finish.
He stopped talking.
So afraid. Let the man finish, man.
Nobody's afraid. I want people to get back to the information. Okay? Can we do that or no?
Yeah, you gotta have patience. Don't be like a fucking apostle. Sorry for cursing. Don't be
you're like, you be yourself.
Well,
be yourself,
man. Because
be yourself, Son Editor. Be yourself. Go ahead, King J. Finish. You're ruining the show.
Yeah, so I think you're making false cognates, because even when we look at the Wajet, we have Haru.
Oh my God, he already said that 50 times.
We have Haru represented as the eye as well.
Yes, thank you. Actually, let me say this. If you notice, when anybody else presents, they get to have respect.
Si, you know you muted, don't you?
Whatever I say, it goes on my panel. That's what I need y'all to know. Understand that. Nobody run this but me.
Right. You run it.
You know what? We're going to end the show in a minute. All right?
Okay, great. Now,
just follow my lead. And when I say let the brother speak, let him speak.
He spoke.
You can go on. Stop being solo.
No, but everybody hears him keep on repeating what he says. Am I the only one? Am I the only one that keeps hearing him repeat what God Energy said 50 times? He keeps no, but I want to read this. It's my presentation. Everybody knows how you are with me. It's no different. But
with everybody. Not
can
just
I read this? Do you mind if I read this, sir?
Yes, I mind.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, when you finish, I will read this information because God Energy already mentioned that. And we want to get back to the information. That's all. We don't need to keep hearing King J, who loses every debate, go in circles. Can we please read the information?
You sure do.
I just want to get to the information. It's the toughest environment, but we got to keep hearing King J repeat what God Energy said 50 times. Now I'm turning up. Now, Sonetter, do you mind if I get to the information? I'll wait for you.
All right. Go ahead, Nepal. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Now, King J, I get what you were saying when you repeated what God Energy said. However, you never approached at all what I asked you to do. See, when you were just flying at the seat of your pants, why didn't you approach the narrative in the heavenly cow that matches what's going on in that verse? Because you can't. All you want to do is pretend that you know something that you don't. That's why you're weak sauce. And now I'm getting personal because Sonetter tried to talk about the toughest environment. Why in the Bible does it say El Ra and it's not a verb? Why is it saying that it's a God? You're saying, oh, because it's saying Ra-E. I don't care if it says chocolate chip. It's saying that she's calling on a God. And it's not just for King J, because his sneakers are full of soggy socks. He's soggy socks, soggy sneakers, creased up, soggy ass shoes. Can somebody who knows how to debate and knows this information, I don't want to hear a diatribe of how you feel about it. Show me why it is a God that she's calling on according to the text. Not about, oh, you tried to do this and I think you're a fraud. King J, your life is a fraud. Get in here and prove me wrong that this isn't a God that she's referring to.
Okay.
And you can thank Sonetter. Wait, you can thank Sonetter that I'm turning up on your ass. Because he got me sparked up. Get in here and answer why that is a El Ra and not a fucking verb. Excuse me, Sonetter. I didn't mean to curse. Show me why that's not a verb and it's talking about a God right now, King J. Right now.
Okay, so the word is ra'ah, and it is being used in the context to see, not as the word for God in the sentence that you're talking about. So it says, "You are the God who sees me." So in this context, the word El is being used for the word God in this sentence, not ra'ah. So you would be incorrect in that instance, right? So the word being used for sees me is ra'ah. The word being used for God is El. So you would stand corrected just right there. So you can respond to that.
Great. Now, see, I told y'all his shoes are wet, his socks are soaked in funky ass mildew vinegar water. You're wrong. According to this text, not your feelings, King J. That's why you be losing all them debates. It says the term ra is derived from the Hebrew word roa, or you say roi, which means seeing or vision. It is most notably associated with the name King J. The name King J, El Ra. She's calling on a God, El Ra. She's not saying you see, seeing. She's calling on El Ra. Your turn. She's calling on El Ra.
She's calling on El Ra, and in the sentence that we're looking at, the word for God is El. The word for Ra'ah is sees me. So you're asking the question of who is the deity. It wouldn't be Ra'ah, because Ra'ah is the word for sees me. El is the word for God. So
okay,
El
back
Roy,
to me.
Ra'ah, let me reread your source, because I think you may be just guiding.
Oh my God! Go ahead and read the source. Let me enlarge it for you. Let me enlarge it for everybody. Go ahead, read it, King James.
It says the Hebrew, the term Ra'ah is derived from the Hebrew word which means seeing or vision. It is notably associated with the name El Roy, Ra'ah, meaning the God who sees me. So literally the word El Roy, God, El Roy sees me. So what are you confused about? Are you trying to suggest in this sentence that Ra'ah means God? If so, you would be incorrect.
Oh, you finished? Okay, good. Now he just did the entire electric slide, the donkey, the buck dance. Let's read the text again, and let's not listen to liars. I'm gonna call you a liar now, because if I didn't call you a liar, it'd make you unintelligent.
All right, one minute. Let me say something real quick.
Oh, now it's time to protect him. Okay.
No, it ain't about protecting him.
I thought it was the toughest environment when I was getting yelled at.
This is what I want to say right quick. Can I speak without you cutting me off now?
No, I'm not cutting you off. I just want to get back to the information.
Yeah, after I say what I want to say, you can.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is what I want to say. Please refrain from calling names.
Got it.
The reason I'm saying that is because I don't want him calling you names.
But he already has. But it's good. It's good.
No, he has not.
He called me a fraud. He called me a fraud. And he called me a fraud, but I didn't get my feelings hurt. But I'd like to get back to the information, because it seems, I don't know if you're trying to protect him, but it sure looks like it. Now, you heard him get in here and lie and say, okay, no, you're not protecting me. You're trying to ruin my show, but I've got this. Why are we not on the information?
I don't want them feeling that they got to listen to that because they on my channel. I don't want that. That's all I'm saying to you, Nepal. All right? That's all I'm saying to you. I don't know why you don't understand that. I don't want you calling the brothers names because I don't want them calling you nothing out your name. Simple as that. And I don't want them feeling uncomfortable because they on my channel. All right, go ahead, Nepal.
Are you finished?
I said, go ahead, Nepal.
Okay. Before Sonetter got in here and tried to help King J, we heard King J lie and say that means God who sees. Let me read this verbatim. I know we needed to have that little break, because this is why they don't like me, y'all. Because I get in here as a woman and I present information that's solid, and then they get protected when I turn up. The term Ra is derived from the Hebrew word Ra, which means seeing. That's a verb. Or vision. That's a noun. But let's get to the part where you lied, King J. It is most notably associated with the name El-Ra. That's a name, King J. You're a liar. I'm not going to take that back because you just lied. Liars lie. You said that that means God sees. It says El-Ra, which is the God who sees me. That's the definition of that name that she called on. Okay, now I'm going to move on from King J and see who else is in here, because you just died on a hill, and Sonetter's protecting you too much for me to be able to go back and forth with you. I'm risking getting my show shut down because you have to be protected, King J. So you can thank Sonetter on that. Anybody else want to add to what I've said? And listen, if you push back, it's one thing. Yeah, we know, Sonetter. Shake your head. But guess what?
Yeah, I wanted
everybody with eyes saw you get in here, turn up for no reason. I'm waiting for someone to come in and talk to me about the heavenly cow context. I've already shown that it says she called on God El-Ra, which it literally says in the interpretation, the God who sees me. Anybody in the chat who's hating on me and cheering on, nobody ever gets at. Sonetter doesn't do this to anybody but me. I'm here for it though, because this is solid information. This is solid information. Anybody at all?
I want to add.
Go ahead, please.
So I expressed the concerns, right, about, you know what I mean, establishing form and meaning, blase, blase. That's that's how the philologist is going to ask you to prove this point. But given the fact that you are doing a textual comparative analysis with the heavenly cow, you're using the fact that in the Egyptian context, Ra is associated with an eye and your Ra is associated with seeing, right? That's a point. And then what you're doing is establishing a hermeneutic approach as opposed to the philologist. And what you are asking the audience to do is accept the term, or the name in this case, El-Ra or El-Roy, the same way that the Vatican translator, and pardon me for forgetting his name, but what he also acknowledges is that when El Elyon is used in the Bible, that's a distinct and meant to be a distinct deity, meaning Elyon, you know, the Most High, separate from El and separate from Yahweh. But he also makes the same point about the use of the term El Olam, the old one, and El Shaddai. So he makes the same point that you're making about El Roy, that yes, the prefix is El, but the word coming after is what signifies which distinct deity. So just like you're saying El Roy is a distinct deity, this Vatican translator also puts forth that El Elyon, El Shaddai, and El Olam are meant to be interpreted as distinct deities as well. So the cultural context is what you're leaning on and is what's on your side. And that's more of a more hermeneutic approach, where most people are going to ask you for a philological approach. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not stuck on that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, because you can take him off the big screen if you want, Senator. But the way we're focusing so much on just that one word, that's how King J, no offense to you, King J, but you function on looking at things in that way. You're not listening to my whole entire presentation. I'm showing you the correlation between the heavenly cow and that text, which I found. And how could I possibly, come on, how much has this text been manipulated? And even through all the times that has been manipulated and changed and translated and things removed, such as we see Marcus in the chat cheerleading for King J, when he will go against him, when King J will tell him that there's Canaanite God worship. But because King J is going against this information, he's cheerleading. Like when I told Marcus, though, these gods are present in the text, and they're not present in a negative way. The pastor cooked, that man wouldn't even acknowledge He wouldn't even go near it. He wouldn't even acknowledge the text, the verse. So at least King J tried. I'll ask again, anybody. I see, so I think Jose came in. Can you not see the correlation between the heavenly cow text and that verse? Go ahead, Jose.
What you're doing is you're misunderstanding, because Ra is associated with a deity, the sun, the day, the mouth glyph, as well as humanity, because Ramech means the tears of Ra. So Ra is not associated directly with seeing at all. The word does not, the Ra does not mean to see. Ma'ah is a word that means to see or to look. It is not associated directly.
What about the attributes, Jose? I want you to get to the attributes of the God of Ra.
Ra is a sun deity. He is
We know,
he was merged with Atum, who was the original creator of all humanity. He thought, the text says he thought about humanity and how he would betray him, and he cried, and humans were in his tears. He sneezed out certain ones. He copulated with his shadow and created other deities. So he is not associated directly with seeing. Not in that sense. There's no word in the Mesonetic that we know of as far as Ra means to see. That is not.
There's no word in the meta netter. So you're saying the God, there's no all-seeing eye of Ra.
No. Ra is not the word to see.
I'm asking you a question. Is that God attributed to being the eye? Let me ask you. I'm reading this. The eye of Ra. There's no such thing as the eye of Ra.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is now. Is there also where it says it's depicted as a sun disk, wedge or Wajet's eye paired with the eye of Horus, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me on that. I don't like saying that.
The eye of Heru and the eye of Ra are basically the same thing. And the eye of Heru has mathematical understanding to it. So there's a mathematical understanding of each part of the eye of Heru.
Right.
So and in the math associated with the eye.
So we've pointed out that let me ask you some questions since you're up here. So we've pointed out that you agree that there is, now you'd say there is the eye of Ra, correct?
Yes, but Ra itself is not associated with seeing, as far as we know.
Okay, let's walk this down slowly. So there is the eye of Ra. In the heavenly cow, does Ra, is the eye of Ra represent, does Sekhmet at all represent the eye of Ra or Hathor, Heru?
As far as I know, no.
Okay, are you familiar with the heavenly cow?
Heteru is represented by a cow. Yes, there is a sun disk aspect to Heteru. Yes, that she has a sun disk in between her horns.
Is the heavenly cow text?
And Sekhmet is actually Heteru. So yes, and Bas is actually.
So first you said no. It's funny. On both times you said no, and now you're saying yes. So yes. So now it's yes.
No, all three of those deities, yes, are associated with the sun, and Heteru is associated with Sekhmet and Bas. Yes, they are all associated. The text tells you that.
Okay.
And Heteru became Bas, and when Bas, Heteru became Sekhmet, and when Sekhmet was drunken, she then became Bas. So all three of them are the same. Yes.
Is Sekhmet the eye of Ra? Is Sekhmet the eye of Ra in the heavenly cow?
Not that I understand it. So no, I don't understand it that way. But I've never really read into the text, so I don't want to lie.
Oh, you've never read it? Okay, I didn't know. I thought you read it.
But I know that those people that are associated. Definitely, yes. And there is a sun disk there as well. Yes.
What in the Sonetter? Do you have any way of contacting Reggie or somebody who's actually an Egyptologist who can help me with this? Because I know I'm reading it here, but I never say, I'm not like Jose, I don't pretend to be an expert of something I'm not.
We have Asa in the audience.
You have, I can't hear you. You have who?
Hold on, Asa Imka, come on in, brother, please. We got Asa Imka.
Oh gosh, yes. Asar Imka, can you get up here if you can? Because there are people, I thought Jose knew the text.
Right.
I'd like
I
to
said yes.
see
There is.
somebody.
I said yes. There is an association
Because
with
he's
Ra and
disagreeing with you,
Heteru because
he
you have
doesn't
the
know the
sun
text
there.
No,
anymore.
he's
So you know
agreeing
what?
and disagreeing. Okay,
I
King
didn't
J, don't
disagree
get
with
kicked
you.
off my show. He's
I didn't
agreeing
disagree
and
with
he's
you.
disagreeing. That's why I need somebody who
Right.
knows it.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying the sun disk is definitely associated with Heteru. I'm not going to
Not
say
just
the eye of Ra is
so.
associated
So,
with
my
Heteru,
friend
but I'm
Jose,
going to lie.
in the heavenly cow, which you
I
said you're
never
not
read the
familiar
text, so I
with,
can't answer the question. I've
you
never
never
read the
read the
text,
text. Well,
so I can't
that's what
answer
I'm
the question.
referring to. I'm
So I
referring to
can't
that
answer that question.
story.
I can't answer
And
that
I have
question.
the story here, so I can reshare it and just read there's mostly
Yes, yes.
commentary on it.
You
All
can do
right,
that.
we got
But
Asar M. Ka in the building. Asar M. Ka.
oh, okay, thank you. Because he is a Kemetic expert, so I would like to ask him some questions.
All right, there
Um,
you go.
peace, brother. All right, and he doesn't have to agree with me or disagree. I just need somebody to give me the facts on it. Okay. Peace, Asar M. Ka. What would you like to say? Introduce before I ask you a bunch of questions.
I just tuned in. I just pulled up to the dock, so I had it on notification. It did not notify me, of course, and I'm driving, as you can see. So, throw your questions out. You know how we do.
Great. So, in the heavenly cow text, is first I should ask you: is Ra ever referred to as the seeing God or all-seeing eye of Ra? Is there any attribute of Ra that would make him as a seeing God?
Yes. I believe just like Jehudis, he's called Lord of Ma'at as well. Neb Ma'at Ra. There it is right there. Neb Ma'at Ra. So at some point in time, he's the same. You see in a lot of hymns, the hands reach out, to the people. So yeah, you could say that. You could basically say that.
Okay, and then you're familiar obviously with the heavenly cow text. In the story, I saw some things, some different information online. Is Sekhmet the eye of Ra in that story when she is put down on earth, or how does that work? Like relating Sekhmet as seeing over Ra and Ra as well, removing his eye. Is that true in the text? Because it's mostly commentary. I'm not looking at the actual text, and I'm not familiar a lot with it like you are. Can you talk to us about that, please?
Yeah, Sekhmet basically. So Ra gets old and he gets tired of men, and it talks about his saliva becoming silver. So they're talking about silver, and something else on his body becomes gold, and something else becomes lapis lazuli. They're basically trying to tell you a myth of how gold and silver got on the earth. And then he gets tired of men because they're disrespecting him, and he's Necha. He's the ruler. And he says, I'll get rid of man. And when he says that, he sends Sekhmet as a roaring lion to hack up men, hack up the limbs of Ra that have turned against him, as they say in another text. So while she's doing that, he gets remorse due to I can't remember the exact reason why he's remorseful about it, but basically men are starting to grovel like, no, we're sorry, we're this, that, the other, right? So what he does is he puts a red wine, so she thinks it's blood, and she starts to lick it up basically, and she becomes intoxicated. Once this happens, Ra is still tired of men, and I believe it's Heru who comes and lifts him up into the sky and lifts him high above the creation. And so you see him in the sky like the sun that he is now, basically. And when you look at Heru, you see her horns, and then you see the sun in between the horns, which is kind of a symbology of lifting him up in the sky. So you have that pretty much for the most part.
Thank you. Is there a part in the heavenly cow? I don't know. Because I'm doing my research when it comes to Kemet. I'm a novice. So Is she removed? Is there a part in the actual text where it says he removed his eye and that was her, or no?
I don't think he removed his eye and it was her. There's another story with Tefnu and Shu going to gather the eye. One eye got angry at the other, whatever the case. And so the sun is one eye and the moon is another eye. And that particular myth has
You're talking about,
it has to do with something in nature.
That's what we've
So
been telling
the
him about
sun is
how
one eye. I just want him to be talking, just him right now, please. So you're saying the sun, which is Ra, he has one eye that's the sun, and he has the other eye that is the moon.
Correct.
Okay. So again, I want to take it back to the question that I'm having, which we're focusing so much on this, on the El Ra, but so there is an attribute of Ra as being the God that watches over, or the seeing eye, or the God that watches over. Yes or no?
Yeah, he watches over. What you want to do is go to the 75 praises of Ra. When you go to the 75 praises of Ra, you can see the full dynamic of how Ra operates, how he commands the different powers that he engenders, and his full attributes, if you will, are in the 75 praises of Ra. I believe that's in Teddy's tomb. So you can Google 75 praises of Ra and you should see it. And then I have a video because I typed all of them out I'm about to put up. And then he says things like, I call to thine eye, and then the thought comes to my head and I start to create things. Sounds just like a Quranic verse. But yeah, 75 praises of Ra give you like a real good dynamic of how Ra operates.
So thank you. So when they say Ra represents the sun and it's depicted as the, like you said, the right eye, it's as if the right eye is the sun. That's why when they say the eye of Ra, they're talking about the sun.
Right. And the left is the moon. And you'll see them interchangeable throughout different mythos. And you'll see what is the that's it for now, because I'm in the truck and you see I'm tired.
No, you're very helpful. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Okay, yes, of course. Come on in.
So you're actually absolutely correct when you're talking about the eye of Ra being Sekhmet. When he plucks his eye out, the eye transforms into Sekhmet and she goes on a killing spree. And that's when it goes into what he's talking about when he has to, trick her with the wine to subdue her. And when she falls asleep, she wakes up as Hathor and presumes her rightful place as a primordial being in the stars, being the cow goddess.
There you
go. Thank you so much,
Queen. Let me add some more
welcome.
foreshadow for you why Issa Queen dropped out, right? So what they're basically is raging, so it's like a hot day. It's similar to Behuda, it's like noonday. And then the wine subsides her. So as the sun sets, what happens to the backdrop? It starts to get red.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to turn into blue. What happens at nighttime? You don't see him. He's like he's far away in the distance.
So what does the word Ra? What does the word Ra mean?
Ra is multifaceted. So Ra can mean sun. Ra can mean
sun.
King. It can mean because like Heru is day, right? But Ra is multifaceted. You don't like Ra has, when you look at the definition of Ra,
my definition for
it's
Ra
not
is
one
day
thing.
or day or radiance.
Wait, did you say Asar? Did you say it can mean? Did you say it can mean? Wait, excuse me, Asar Mkad. Did you say it can mean king?
It can be referred to as the king. Remember, the king is the Sarah. He's the son of Ra.
Right. And I know we're dealing with Hebrew, and it's not just about one language, but I will say that much later, of course, the French language, they know that Ra means king, because in French, R-O-I, which is pronounced Ra, means king. in French. And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to point that out. So the word El Roi that you're using in Hebrew, and you guys are saying, well, first off, you're saying it's a verb only. We've established that it's the name of a God.
No, we have not established it's the name of a God.
It is the name of a God. We did establish that.
No, we have not established in
And
that
the Paul got a
text. That
question
word,
for you.
that word El Roy means, in that text, means seeing. Roy means seeing in that context.
Let me get it again for you.
Please let's put it up.
I hate to keep on beating a dead horse with soggy socks.
No,
but here is the word.
I think you stand corrected in this instance.
When you get done, I have a
Here it
question
is right
for you.
here. Here it is again. Look, the term Roy is derived from Hebrew word Roi, which means seeing or vision. It is most notably associated with the name King J, El Ra. You really need to go dry your socks. Okay.
So what does El Roy mean? What does El Ra
No,
mean?
you know, you just said it. We didn't. You said we didn't. You said we didn't. Sir, you said we didn't.
In the context of the sentence, the word Ra'ah means sees me.
I know you want to do.
The word for God is El.
Okay. Okay. You finished?
So you're incorrect.
Okay. Let's read. All we gotta do is read it.
Hold on, because you're talking over me. I'm just making a point. The word Ra'ah in this sentence, that God, the word in the title, that God who sees me, Ra'ah is sees me. The word El is the word God.
All right. So this is what we're going to do again. All we're going to do is read it. All right.
El Roy. What does El Roy mean? El Roy means the God who sees me. So in the name El Roy, what does the word for God being spoken, vocalized? You would say El. And then when you said who sees me, you would say Ra'ah.
Okay, let me try it again. Let's read this.
The God who sees me.
Oh, he's back again. His socks are still soggy. Okay, but see, I'm not crying because you're jumping in and talk, because I'm just going to wait till you be quiet. The term Ra'ah, you say Roi. The term Roi is derived from the Hebrew word Roi, which means seeing or vision. It is most notably associated with the name El Ra or El Roi. That's a noun, and that's one name. That's the name of a God right there. And what does the name of that God mean? What's that name? El Roi, El Ra, whatever you want to say, El Roi. What does that name of that God mean? The name means the God who sees me. But the name is El Ra, El Roi. It's like, I feel like I'm back to doing homeschooling with my 5-year-old.
There's two words combined. So when you read the meaning, the definition.
All right, hold on, brother. Hey, y'all, I want y'all to know I got another show coming up at 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to crash this out. I'm gonna let Nepal close out. And I want to let everybody know the weekend is near. The weekend is around the corner. The tickets goes up on the weekend. The ticket goes up to $50. So if you want to get the early bird ticket to see this debate, you want to get your ticket now. Don't wait till the last minute, because me and we will be out. We ain't gonna be in the house. Okay, we're not gonna be inside where y'all could be able to call us and tell us to do this and do that. Nope, we're gonna be at the event. So get your tickets now. Don't wait till the last minute, because I ain't gonna be able to answer no phone calls. I ain't gonna be able to answer no phone calls. I want to let y'all know that now. Let me drop the link for those of y'all who want to get your tickets now. They go up this weekend. These are the early bird tickets. Huh?
Did you get my Zelle? Did it come through? Or?
No, I didn't see it. I'm glad you say that, but I didn't see yourself, brother.
I got the link.
Let me just get it from the link. Then. Let me get it from the link.
Yeah, all you gotta do is take a screenshot, take a copy, and send it to me. Show me that you Zelled me.
Yeah, we got the link out there.
Yeah, because if you did, I would have it. If you didn't, you can always request that money back if it didn't come to me.
It's nothing. Yeah, let me, because I know it's in there. So I'm sorry.
Take a screenshot, send it to me. Let me see it.
Sorry.
Yeah, so there go the link inside, y'all. Y'all want to get the stream? Make sure you get the stream. The stream is going to stay. Oh, no, it goes up. Yeah, the stream goes up too. Just like tickets at the door. Everything go up, man. If you want to get it, you get it. If you don't, that's your miss. You miss out on it. Because this one will not be played. This will be going into the war chest for a minute. So it is what it is. Go ahead, Nepal. Back to you. Because I got to close. I got your one more thing. One more thing. I got Jabari and R.I.S.E coming up. As everybody could see, is Dr. Reggie putting batteries in R.I.S.E's back. Is Dr. Reggie putting batteries in R.I.S.E back? Wow. Is R.I.S.E about to make the biggest mistake of his YouTube career? Okay, we want to make sure we get that out the way. Is he about to make the biggest mistake of his YouTube career? All right, and we got this coming up on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we got this coming up, and he is taking and he's going at Brother La. He's going at Unk, and he's going at Sekou. I speak of none other than Easy Bands. Is this an Islamic dilemma? Did Prophet Muhammad own black slaves? Unk, Sekou, and Brother La gets the smoke. So he's going at them in a respectful way with the information. That's what I spoke to him about. As long as it's on the information, he agreed. All right. So y'all be ready for that. And then, we got this Friday coming up. My man is on the channel right now, God Energy. Y'all ain't hear me. This is what God is dealing with, cartridge and the Bible. So he's going in on that, man. So be ready for that on this Friday coming up. And I don't know when the next show going to be. When is your next show?
Don't worry about that. No, I'm probably not going to do one for a while. But let me get to this last part of the information.
Go ahead.
I'll be doing it on the HOK Coliseum where, because obviously King Jake came in here. He embarrassed himself. He thought that El-Ra wasn't a name. He got completely protected. I'm still waiting for him to admit that he was wrong. And I'm going to close out with this more information. I've presented and shown that God, the other gods were worshipped. And I want you to stick around real quick, Asarimka, because you brought this up. I was going to wait and show this little piece too, but I'm going to show it now. In Numbers 24, you heard our brother Asarimka talk about Sekhmet in the heavenly cow being the bloodthirsty lioness that had to be appeased by Ra to stop killing the people. She was just basically, he had to have her drink a river of, I think it was beer or wine that they dyed red. Correct, Asarimka?
Yes.
Okay, so we're in the Bible again, in the Bible, and we go to Numbers 24:9. Everything has been so manipulated, especially the Masoretic text. They've taken things out of the Bible. Then we have King J, the woman hater. He's changed. He changed so much in the Bible. We've got so much, but here we have 24:9 in Numbers. It says he couched. They're saying he couched. He lay down as a lion and as a great lion. Who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blessed thee, and cursed is he that curses thee. Then we move on to, I can go to that part. I want to show you something. There's a part that I will show you about the blood, but here when you see them say great lion, the manipulators, the liars who hate to show the truth, this word right here, Hebrews 3:8-3, it is talking about a female lion, not a male lion. So it's not great lion. It's a female lion.
Page 38-33.
Why doesn't it say second?
La vie. La vie.
So La Vie is a female lioness. It's a lioness. And why is that important? Because in the same book, I'm going to grab it for you. There is a verse that says, this lion drinks blood and cannot be appeased. Now you can go ahead and cry over that too, talking about why does it say Sekhmet. I'm gonna get it though.
And Nepal, I got a question.
I said, why doesn't it say segment? If I'm entertaining,
I know you do, because you're being a clown. That's why you said that. Go ahead, Sunday. Yes.
My question was, I held back all this time. I just wanted to know, was because you in the beginning you were saying how people could get killed for being poly, like, right? So I wanted to know that because you said how are they getting killed and it's in the Bible. But my thing is this right here, because I was taught this long time ago that the Lord destroyed the world because of poly. Would you agree with that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They said because of the Egyptians and their poly, the Lord got angry and he flooded the world. See, that's why.
Okay.
That's why.
You mean polytheistic?
Huh?
Polytheistic, you mean?
Yeah. He said because the Egyptian had other gods and they was praying other gods, so the Lord got jealous, got mad, and he destroyed the world. I learned that in 1964.
Right. Are you saying the flood?
Yeah, the flood.
Doesn't say anything about that in the Bible, though.
Yeah, that was,
it doesn't say God destroyed the world because people worshipped other gods.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the Bible. Not in that scripture, not in the verse you're talking about. Not with Noah. It just says that the people were, it doesn't even specifically say, it just said it got evil. So, no, it's fine. I just want to get this part where I said about the lion. He's over here saying, why doesn't it say Sekhmet? I just told you, people like you got a hold of the Bible. And they thought they needed to protect us. I'm going to read this, and then you can, if you want to say something, you're more than welcome, but I'd like to read this.
Okay, I got something for you, Nepal. When you get a chance, I'll let me on just because I got this. I looked it up for you, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, great. Lift up. Okay, here it is. It's Numbers 23, verse 24. All right, so Numbers 23, verse 24. And again, don't make it like I don't like pushback. For instance, God energy gives me pushback all the time. A lot of people do. But when you come in and you don't like that pastor and like King Jay, you don't present anything. I have no patience for that. So excuse me, I have to work on being patient with the remedial, the special bus. Okay, so let me get this right here. So you see right here, Numbers 23, verse 24, it says, behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion. The liars, the hiders, changed this lion. That's supposed to say lioness. I'll click on the tools. The people shall rise up as a lioness and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey and drink of the blood. This is referring to the heavenly cow. But of course, we've got magicians and spin masters that have changed the Bible and want to hide this. So if I get down to this particular word again, when they changed it to great lion, it originally was written lioness because they weren't scared of God killing them because they didn't think God would kill them for acknowledging other gods until Moses, till they wrote the Torah and said, guess what? Now God's going to kill you if you worship those other gods. So this is the word. It is lioness. Here it is in the text. It says labi, and it's a feminine noun. It says masculine noun. It's a feminine noun. And I can get you the background on it. It is a lioness. But now because the Masoretic text is so corrupt, it also says young, stout lion, great lion. No, it's the text says lioness. That's what the text says. All right. So thank you.
That's deep.
All right.
Can I read that? Can I read that to you, Nepal, or you want me to wait?
Let's let God Energy wants to say something, then you can close out and read it.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you trying? I want to get your point understood. So the God who sees me, when she says the God who sees me, that's referring back to the heavenly cow. Then the point you just made about the lioness, that's pointing back to the heavenly cow. So you're doing a textual analysis between the heavenly cow as a piece and this verse here, right? This is what you're trying to do. Then the epithet of the God who sees me, you're saying that Ra, per Asar Kaz information with Neb Ma'ara, he said, Ra is known as a God who sees. Right there, your point is made that Ra is known as a God who sees or a seeing God. So when you see the epithet, right, in the Bible, and she says the God who sees me, we know she's talking about Ra because Ra is Neb Ma-Ra, like Asar Kaz said. So I think that right there is the basis of your point. Does your point live and die with the fact that Ra'oi means who sees me, and you can connect that in your way to Ra? Does this argument live and die with the Ra correlation or the epithet of the God who sees me?
Thank you. I'm going to leave it right there. Bingo. And you know what? I got to because you know, you're much more, I can admit that he's much more articulate than me. But this information, he just articulated it and busted you over your head with it, over your head, King J. So thank you, God Energy. There you go. All right, moving right along. And,
that actually was a question for you, Napa. That was
no, it's not. It's not a question because the point, it's basically, he's making my point. I'm showing you the comparison between the heavenly cow and the actual biblical scripture. They are too similar to deny. If you want to say, oh, El Roy is not Ra, I'm still showing you that information. Then I went to Numbers and showed you more of the heavenly cow. It's been twisted. It's changed to great lion, and it says lioness originally in the original text. The lioness that drinks blood.
Sekhmet.
So, yeah, anyway, King J, you know, I have a lot of respect for you otherwise, but today you just wet your shoes all up. Your socks are soggy. I need you to get in there and dry them off. And the next time we're in the panel, I'll be cool with you. So, yeah, because you tried to twist it and say that El Ra is not a name of a god, and it in fact is. So, go ahead, Rakufu.
Now, when I first came on and I heard you and King J talking, I just went to my Gemini and said, in ancient Hebrew, El Roi means the God who sees me. In Egypt, in my mind I was like, Egypt, the light. So I was like, in ancient Egypt, Ra means to see or light. Listen to this. It came back saying that is a fascinating cross-linguistic connection. And it highlights just how much these ancient Near Eastern and Northeast African cultures shared a common conceptual world. Your breakdown captures a beautiful semantic crossover. In Hebrew, El-R-O-I, El Roy, famously appears in Genesis 16:13, where Hagar addresses Yahweh as the God who sees me, or the God of my vision. After her encounter in the wilderness, the root Re-I literally means to see. In Egypt, while Ra is most famously the primordial solar deity, the ultimate source of cosmic light and illumination, the underlying linguistic root M33 is typically used for the physical verb to see.
And thank you, Rakufa, for that. And with that said, it's all love. Peace to everybody. I hope I can do more of these conversations. I only turned up because Sonetter turned up. Do I get
a chance to close in the part, or just the people who?
Yeah, go ahead, King J. Of course, I'm fair. You know I'm fair, even though you came in here with the boogaloo, the electric boogaloo. And then Sonetter actually jumped in and started doing dance moves with you. I want to point that out. But go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of the
you breaking up, King J?
Oh, no, that was a sigh.
Okay.
So when we were referring to the book of the heavenly cow, it was a couple of mistakes made. So when Ra sends his daughter down, he sends actually Hathor. He doesn't send Sekhmet, he sends Hathor. Hathor takes the form of Sekhmet, right? And then when Hathor decides to leave, she takes the form of the heavenly cow and carry Ra back on her back into the sky. So Sekhmet is not actually there; it's actually Hathor the whole time.
Okay.
Just wanted to clear that up. So I don't. I think that's another false equivalency that you would probably try to correlate to your Hagar, which has anything to do with the linguistic connection that you tried to make with Ra'ah, which in the Hebrew means to see, and Ra in the Metaneder would mean actually day. So they mean two different things, and you're trying to twist them and conflate them. You're trying to use Metaneder definitions for a Hebrew text.
Okay.
I think that's where the false conflation comes, because the actual word in the Hebrew lexicon, Ra'ah, has a meaning, which means to see. The actual word Ra in the Hebrew lexicon means disaster or evil. So it means two different things. You're making a lot of false equivalencies. Yeah. So I think I think your premise is flawed. So therefore, any connection after your flawed premise would be flawed in itself. It would just be theology at this point.
Okay, thank you. Let me address what he said. Let me get to Sar. He said Sekhmet is in the heavenly cow. He said he went so long. I didn't want to jump in and stop him at point by point. Basically, Sar, did you hear this brother come in? And now I'm getting back to being. I'm getting Sonnet. I'm about to end it. Why are you so? I got you. Take that down, please. You notice how he let King J talk forever, and then now it's in when I'm about to bust him.
Sonnet, respond to my closing. That's crazy.
Because it was misleading. I'm teaching, actually.
My close is the end of the show.
I'm teaching. I know you have no respect. Because you see,
it was very misleading, and I wanted to respond to it as well.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get this out. I'll let you respond because you already know where I'm going to go. It's a queen. Why was he wrong? First off, about me with the Sekhmet and the Hathor. I'll let you go ahead and have the floor.
So the way he just presented that story, he's talking about an older version of the Hathor Sekhmet story, because Hathor and Sekhmet actually predates Ra and the phrase "Eye of Ra." So he's talking about the original story where Hathor gets upset and then she turns into Sekhmet and she's the one who kills everyone. But then later on in the new kingdom, you get the actual text of that you're talking about, where the Eye of Ra turns into Sekhmet and then Sekhmet turns into Hathor, which doesn't take away the point that you were making originally, because that's the story that the early Hebrews took to make the scriptures in the Bible.
Thank you. See, this is why I need.
Thank you, everybody.
Sonetter, I'm about to close it.
Nepal, listen. I told you I got another show at 8:00.
Yes, thank you, everybody who joined. We have 4 minutes. I'm going to get off in 20 seconds. I want to say thank you to everyone who joined, even to King J. I do want to get up here and teach, but I need everybody to help me with this. I'm not the only one. I needed a SAR. I needed God Energy, who gave me pushback, and he said, you got to get this, tighten it up. I need Queen. It's a queen. I need people as an example, as King J, to come in so we can use him as the piñata. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. Peace and peace of the darkest minds of the light. Thanks, Sonetta, for letting me do this.
In the future, in the future.
And I need Rakufu. I forgot. And Suntan. Okay.
In the future, look for Issa Queen versus Nepal Shada.
No, why? Why?
Because y'all the two. That's good. That got to happen.
What the hell? Who commissioned that?
Unc commissioned it to me earlier, and I agree with Unc. That got to happen. We're gonna let that happen.
People that I disagree with, though. I mean, I don't get this.
Right, it's interesting.
You know what? I'm gonna take this show down. I don't understand what's wrong with you, Senator. I don't know why.
We already got what's coming up. I dropped the link in the chat. We going live over there across the street. We know what it is, man. Let's go.
At your own risk, it's the toughest environment.
the toughest environment, King J. We good, King
H-O-K
J.
is the
You all
toughest
right?
environment.